Continuation of Chapter 14. Why are you so cold? Asked Madame Lu excitedly. Another lunch box. I also managed to notice before the system received a notification about a new task. System notification, lobby for the second shop Holy Grill in the capital. The food is ready. Candle Castle's meat flavor is the best on the entire continent. This is the last request of Madame Lu, who wants to open a second Holy Grill outlet in the capital city of Ailstoke. You need to give this letter and the lunch box to my little sister who lives in the capital. However, it won't be easy. I only trust you Ha and Ha. Content: give Madame Chu, who lives in the capital of Ailstoke, a lunch box and a letter within 1 month. Reward for successful completion. Invitation to the opening of the second point of the Holy Grill. Failure condition: exceeding the deadline, destroying the lunch box. In case of failure, minus 50% intimacy with Madame Liu, minus 20% closeness to all NPCs in Candle Castle, minus 15% proximity to all NPCs in the capital city of Ailstoke. It's just a delivery quest. What's so hard about it? Yeehaw was indignant. And what is the reward? Shouldn't the reward for the last quest in the series be decent? The musketeer thought. However, if I fail the quest, I will be charged a lot. And Ha asked hesitantly, just deliver it and that's it, right? Madame Liu replied with a smile, sure. Yeehaw persisted. Is your little sister, Miss Chu, by any chance a monster that eats people? Is her home in some deep forest? Oh my god, Madame Liu exclaimed. How can you say that about a child who lives peacefully in the capital? Not understanding what was happening, Yeehaw asked, then what is the difficulty of the quest? In the person, Madame Liu replied in a calm voice. In a person, Yeehaw asked, surprised. Madame Liu said softly, the world is not a peaceful place. Is this lunchbox going to be chased by some killer? Said Yeehaw in alarm. This can't happen. Oh my god. The woman laughed loudly. It sounds good, though, she smiled. Then she added in a half-whisper, covering her mouth, the murder of the stranger who defended the Holy Grill lunchbox. Yeehaw shouted out of indignation and resentment, I ask you to hold back your made-up stories. After all, the one who can die is me. The musketeer's voice was hurt. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Madame Liu said with a smile. However, this is not a bad marketing ploy. Oh ho ho ho. The woman couldn't help but laugh. No matter how you look at it, she's serious. Yeehaw thought resentfully. But the offensive thoughts were interrupted by another thought. 500 kilometers directly to the capital. Walking will take about 10 days. A road plan was already maturing in my head. If from the capital of Ailstoke to Candle Castle is about 500 kilometers, so the road will probably be so-so. So it can't be called a straight path. Yeehaw thought hard. The journey will take at least 15 days. And if I'm unlucky enough to wander into the mountains, I won't make it in time. That was the thought that scared him the most. The actual travel time is about 4 days. But anyway, I have to go. The Musket Academy is also located in the capital. I do not know what will happen to me on the way, but I have to go. Yeehaw said to himself with a smile. I'll do it, said Yeehaw proudly. Madame Liu pointed at the red and violet lunch boxes and said, Ha and Ha, thank you. This lunchbox contains golden eagle meat. Give it to my sister Chu. However, it won't go bad on the way. The guy asked warily. Madame Liu said with a smile, it has conservation magic applied to it, so it will be fresh for 3 months. Oh ho ho ho. The woman laughed and added, but even if the lunchbox doesn't go bad, I can't guarantee that the taste will stay the same. You're not going to ruin my dream by delivering a tasteless meal, are you? No, Ha and Ha. Madame Liu asked with narrowed eyes. Of course not. Ha ha ha, said Yeehaw in confusion. Then I'm counting on you. Oh ho ho, the woman said as she handed over the lunch boxes. Yeehaw took the lunch boxes with trembling hands and said only, yes, the strange and dangerous quest has begun. How delicious. Taking a bite of fried meat from his lunch box, Yeehaw was surprised. This lunchbox has more effect than the one with Black Angus. The guy was surprised when the system started to increase points. Dexterity +3, stamina +1. All my fatigue from cooking was instantly removed. Yeehaw thought. System notification, special lunchbox. A special lunchbox made by the owner of the Holy Grill, Madame Liu. The Lord of Mount Candle even tastes majestic. Not for sale. Effect, dexterity +3, stamina +1. After eating his fill, Yeehaw sat down on the bench and thought, it would be cool if I could make such a lunchbox myself and sell it. The guy exclaimed, remembering the red lunchbox that was lying on the bench to his right. This box is also interesting to me. If this is a bribe, then perhaps this lunchbox tastes better than the one with the golden eagle meat. Ha picked up the lunchbox and started looking at it. Can you see what it is? Subject information. Holding the bundle to his nose, the musketeer thought, it doesn't even smell. System notification, rare offering lunch box, fried dish of a unique class, which contains all the culinary techniques of the Holy Grail. The moment the lunch box is opened, all breathing living things become Madame Lu's robes. The only drug that is allowed in the state is Holy Grail barbecue. For sale. Effect, strength +5, dexterity +10, stamina +5. Stats can go up as much as 20. And for sale. Iha shouted enthusiastically. The whirl of thoughts in his head made the guy's head spin. Am I not dreaming? It's also a rare item. Where else is there an item that will raise your stat level by 4 just by eating what's inside? Iha's inner voice said in an angry voice, I'll hide it first. How much? Will I get it if I sell it? Cold sweat trickled from his forehead and down his cheek. The system returned new data. 89,557. Premium sale. Selling a one-handed special class sword of level 180. 89,556. I sell 50 gold coins my $$ $. 89,555. I will buy 50 silver coins. Please hurry up, we need it right now. 89,554. I will buy a greatsword of outstanding class 80 level. The appearance of the sword doesn't interest me. 89,553. I sell leather shoes of level 100. Movement speed +15%. Dexterity +6. 14,000,001. 89,552. I will buy 30 gold coins. I want to complete the transaction as quickly as possible. Just like before, for 1 gold coin, 100,001. An outstanding class one-handed sword that increases movement speed by +15% and agility by +6%. Tin plate, 14,000,001. A couple more trickles of sweat ran down my cheek from the strain. After logging out of the game, Iha sat in his wheelchair and searched for information on the internet. Madame Lu's lunchbox has no class restrictions, and it doesn't need any equipment. You can say that this is a cheat item that raises your skills if you just eat it. Such an item will cost a tidy sum. One thought followed another. The guy searched for any information that might interest him. Can I put it up for 50 million won? No, I can sell it for 100 million won. He read in a whisper, 100 million in cash, 100 million, 100 million. Iha shouted. Then the man who had caught his breath calmly began to reason. Out of the 2 billion that is needed for treatment, 100 million is 5%. Get a grip on yourself, ha and ha. A gunslinger shouldn't indulge his emotions, a commanding voice said in his head. If I sell this lunchbox, the 100% proximity level will disappear, and as soon as I arrive in the capital, I will be hit by a wave of anger. However, does it compare to the 100 million won I can get? And the musketeer closed his eyes for a moment and imagined the players judging him. Even if I fail the quest, my relationship with the NPCs will simply be ruined. I don't care if I quit the game after that. Iha stared intently at the computer screen. Although I'm not going to give it up after I earn 100 million. Damn, thoughts and Ha intertwined in an incomprehensible tangle of contradictions, and he went back to the game. While I was going through all the stages of loading, and Ha thought, at least they would give me a normal reward for completing the quest. What kind of nonsense is this? Just some kind of invitation to open a second store, and it's worth 100 million won. If I go there, will they give me 1,000 gold coins? Maybe I should just send this item to hell and sell it and betray Madame Lu. A woman's scream interrupted his thoughts. No way. What a betrayal in the game. Ha and Ha, help yourself while it's warm. What's wrong with this picture? Musketeer remarked, exiting the game again. She's just an NPC. It may be realistic, but it's still just a program. Iha's thoughts were getting crazier and more contradictory. When she said beware of a human, she didn't mean someone else, but me. In the stream of thoughts, the mother's native voice was heard, son. The boy turned at the sound. Why is such a young man sighing so much? Something happened. Oh, Mom, are you still awake? The son asked. I wanted to drink some water. Why aren't you in bed yet? Very busy, my mother said indignantly. I'll be going to bed soon. Don't worry, Iha replied with a smile. Good. Tomorrow there will be a lot of guests who have made a large order, so I may be late. I'll make you some snacks, so don't forget to eat, Mom said, closing the door behind her. Why do I doubt it? Thought the guy while again loaded into the world of virtual reality. We need to think more simply. Besides, I can doubt it later. But anyway, I have to go to the capital. Fully loaded into the new location, and Ha went to the next store. Master, the youth shouted. Ha and Ha, are you here? The salesman who was standing behind the shop shouted enthusiastically. Seeing and Ha, the seller was delighted. Bajechki, have you collected anything today? The musketeer began to justify himself. Recently it is difficult to find puak grass. I'll look for her, so please wait a bit. The salesman mumbled, of course. It is clear that you will not find this grass so easily. What about the wholesaler? Iha asked. The salesman frowned at the guy and replied, now the sun has just risen, why should he be here? After a pause, he added, he's already here, on the way. And then he said with a smile, KHYM. Would you like to enjoy a cup of coffee? And Ha, I like this suggestion. It would be nice. But he thought sarcastically to himself, look at him. He stopped bullying me. And then he added with narrowed eyes, well, of course, his nature is not so. And asked aloud, you sell cards, don't you? The salesman holding out a hot cup of aromatic coffee replied, yes, of course. Taking the cup the guy asked, and how much will it cost? The seller did not take long to answer, with the vicinity of the castle candle 80 silver coins, and the one with the entire Pubial Empire 5 gold coins. And Ha asked again, 80 silver and 5 gold. By this time they had reached a large picture covered with a cloth. Behind this rag is a very valuable piece of information. Iha thought. The salesman began to explain. The cards were originally high-end items, so, of course, they are not cheap. Musketeer began to remember, so that's why there was so much fuss about some people getting parts of the map online, printing them out, cutting them out, and then gluing them together. It wasn't a lie that they made a Tidonjido map. Tidonjido is a map of the Korean peninsula created by Kim Jong-ho during the Joseon era. I'll leave the question about the map for now. I'll save up some money and buy it later. Iha thought as he finished his refreshing coffee. Suddenly the door opened and a man appeared on the threshold. Master, the product has arrived. A man reported loudly. The salesman muttered in surprise, oh, Bob. And you're early. The wholesaler lifted the cartons and wheezed heavily from exhaustion. So you said you wanted to introduce someone to me today. Turning to Iha, he added with a smile, you know that a merchant never comes to meetings late. So that's who it is. The wholesaler smiled as he looked at Iha. The musketeer only smiled back. Chapter 15. The musketeer approached the wholesaler and held out his hand. My name is Ha and Ha. The wholesaler shook it, smiling. Is it true that you're going to buy so much gunpowder? I just want to buy it at a wholesale price. Iha replied. We'll do everything then. The wholesaler promised confidently. Thank you very much. The guy answered with relief. How much do you need? To begin with, I brought 500 sets. The wholesaler replied proudly. So much? Even though this is a wholesale price, 500 sets will cost upwards of 50 silver coins. I was surprised and Ha. IKEA. KHYM. Well, the product must first be put in order. Follow me. A shop assistant ran up with exclamations. The guy thought to himself, even if I shake up my entire fortune, I can't afford it. The wholesaler mumbles while pushing Iha out of the shop. It's not worth a single silver coin. The musketeer turned to the wholesaler and asked in a serious voice, then how much? The wholesaler snidely replies, 1 set with gunpowder 4 copper coins. And the bullets are 1 copper coin each. Iha turned to the salesman, set with gunpowder for 4 copper coins. The salesman shook his hands in fright. Iha widened his eyes in anger and yelled, did you pretend to be a tough guy and fuck me for 15? The salesman replied in a confused, trembling voice, and no, it's not like that. I also have to live on something. With anger in his voice, Iha shouted, then you will search for the puak grass yourself. And I don't care if you get mauled by rabbits in the process, or not. The clerk in hysterics, tears in his eyes, clung to the musketeer's leg and shouted at the top of his voice, ah. Idea. Mr. Ha and Ha, setfire to it. Forgive me. I can compensate you for the damage with something else. Just don't leave. The salesman pleaded. Other people? The guy asked, intrigued. Yes, in this, whatever you want. The shopkeeper pleaded. In your gun shop. Got a musket. Protective gear. Already sitting in a chair with his legs crossed. Iha hissed defiantly. The salesman bowed his head and whispered, you need to go to the tailor. It's in a shop with rings and necklaces. After a moment's thought, the salesman added, you said you'd give me anything. Was it a lie? The salesman could no longer contain the emotions that were surging through him with renewed vigor. I understand you. You can choose one from my store. Will this work? Choose one. Then, I think you take something inexpensive. The salesman chuckled. The salesman approached the card covered with a cloth and offered it. Pointing at it, will be even for the map of the kingdom of Pubial. 5 gold coins equals 500,000 won. And Ha, sitting on a chair, shook his head, inexpensive. Don't rob. Without having said one sentence, the guy yelled at the whole shop. No, then, get the pubic grass yourself. The salesman hissed in anger, damn you. All right, I get it. The guy, getting up from the chair, loudly declared, oh well, at least I rested a little. Now it's time to hit the road. After leaving the shop, Iha recalled the words of the wholesaler, I look forward to our next deals. The guy, holding a bag of loot in his hands, thought, so much gunpowder and bullets are basically enough for me. When he went to the bank, he remembered the instruction of the wholesaler. It will be easier to make payments through the bank vault. Grinning, he thought, the same thing as online payment. As I approached the window of the public bank vault, I heard the cashier's voice, your account is open. Outside the bank vault, Musketeer thought, by the way, I haven't spoken to Kai Jong in a while. Should I ring it? So Ha did. Hey, Ki-jon, Hyun, still up? We need to earn money. What are you doing? I'm currently hunting with the guild members. Lucky, he has a team and meet and Ha. I've reached level 12 and I'm heading to the capital right now. Can we meet again sometime? Are you already at 12? Could you catch a golden eagle? My brother was surprised. Sure, bro, I already got it. Boasted Iha. You're fast. In general, I congratulate you. Well, when you get to the capital, Hyung, we'll hang out together. Oh, right, Hyung. Did you say KZDL Castle? Did you happen to see Ram HWA Jong there? Ah, I saw it. Damn, you should have dialed me. Are you in her fan club too? Actually, I am. Feck, we have to get these fucking girls out of here. Kai Jong suddenly said fiercely. The HWA was shocked, but he didn't show it. Really what? They got you, too, didn't they? Bloody sisters. Oh, wait. What happened between the two of you? Iha asked, and thought, Kai Jong doesn't usually put it that way. What's wrong with him? Man, I don't even want to talk about it. Why do you think our guild has put a bounty on these two? Seriously, if I'd known they were there, I'd have killed them on the spot. Why do you want to kill that little thing? What happened at all? Ha asked. The little thing, Hyung, she's really crazy. You haven't seen her use magic, have you? What kind of youngster is this cruel girl? She's a real witch. We were just sitting in an ambush with the guild members, and she froze us all. You can see and feel everything at this time, but you can't move. She smiled as she tore off each of our heads. Word to the anchovies. Don't be able to connect to the game for 48 hours and lose your LVL. This is just another flower. After I started having nightmares about not having a boss, I couldn't log into the game for 5 whole days. By all means, they must be caught. Shared his acquaintance with the Ice Girl brother. Iha was surprised to say the least and couldn't share his story with him. Ha ha ha. So much for post-traumatic stress disorder. He thought. Sorry to be wrong, Hyung. Kai Jong apologized. No, it's okay. I understand you. You're looking for them. Musketeer tried to get off the subject. He was sitting on a bench in a pretty square, surrounded by green trees and bushes. And this isn't just happening to our guild. Ram HWA Young spends a lot of money. We can say that a large enterprise has entered the shopping alley and this is killing all small businesses. You can't leave it like this. I won't back down. We need to remove them even if we have to die ourselves. We've teamed up with 5 guilds to do this. The guild of those 2 will soon be ranked 5th in the world. Kim Jong said. Iha tried to make sense of his story and thought, oh, her. And he contacted a huge number of people. If I join the guild of those sisters, I might end up being beaten by Kai Jong in reality instead of online. Okay, I get you. I'll call you later. Iha finished the call and got up from the bench. Good. Have a good trip. Kai Jong said goodbye. A game is a game, and reality is reality. However, they are strongly related to each other. Maybe it's better not to join any guild at all right now. I'm so happy that I got an offer to join from the rankers. However, what should I do if I go against my younger cousin? Iha panicked, but quickly gathered himself. There's no point in thinking about it now. Maybe something will be decided when I arrive in the capital. I will worry in my spare time. Musketeer decided and opened the map on the taskbar. Ooh wow, cool. It's just GPS navigation, isn't it? There are no routes here, but the locations and directions are clear. During my time in the army, I read maps to the point of nausea. Can it even be increased or decreased? If you give a card to the shooter, consider it the end of the game. Happy and haw. I know the way, so there's no problem now. Even if I don't have any money, I can still get myself some resources along the way. On the road and Ha was packed well. My fortune is 27 copper coins, a musket, 3 buns, a map, 100 sets of gunpowder and bullets, a lunchbox that can cost me 100 million won. A level 12 musketeer Ha, who thinks he knows a little bit about weaknesses, goes to the capital. After 3 hours, and Ha ran through the grass and thought happily, what would I do without the beginner runner skill? It's been a long time since I've run. Then, all of a sudden, he came across a wooden sign that read in large letters, "Be careful. A zone with a huge number of surprise attacks." Ah, so this is the forest where the monsters attack first. You need to be careful, decided Yeehaw, standing in front of a large and dense forest with a backpack on the edge. There was a sudden commotion behind him. Let's start the fight. The target is a brown bear. Instant provocation skill. A man wearing armor and carrying 2 shields attacked a huge bear. The bear was huge and angry. I've got his attention, he shouted to his companions who appeared behind him, and to be more specific, a girl with 2 blades and a bald man with huge beads around his neck and dressed apparently in a monk, as if from a Tibetan monastery. "Watch out for the green snakes," shouted the girl attacking the bear. The monk seemed to be praying at this time. Yeehaw watched this battle from afar and thought, it turns out that there are so many classes here. Since he only has 2 shields, he can't attack. But then another noise caught his attention. Boo, brown bear, if we get caught, we'll die. B, let's run. Hurry up. This is Paul's boss. Because of it, we will lose all items. The group of players ran away in different directions, while another group approached the combatants. Assemble a strike force. Create a group and send out invitations. One hell of a melee attack, one hell of a ranged attack, and 2 tanks. A knight with 2 suits of armor shouted to everyone, "Please accept us. We have 3 of them for a close range attack. And here are 2 hills." New recruits were coming up. Gather in one place. The knight gave the command. Where did they all come from? Have they been here all this time? It looks like a 20-man squad is needed for the field boss. However, such a spontaneously assembled team, due to problems with interaction, can simply lose to the boss. And I may also be under attack. Therefore, it is better not to join them. Besides, it's the melee DDS that are most needed to capture a bear, so I'm definitely not here. Already turned around in the other direction and slowly drove away. And I'm the leader of the Kim Flower group. Please join us. We have already assembled 3 teams. Heard in conversations, and Imechno. Let's drop all our desires and just go our own way. No sooner had Yeehaw moved to a safe distance when a scream rang out. The boss is coming. Tanks come forward. A man also dressed in knight's armor gave the command. I'll just watch a little bit, and then I'll go. Interesting after all, Yeehaw decided and hid behind a large rock. Make a formation before the monster gets close. Healers, treat everyone in order. DD melee, stand a little behind the tanks. A knight with 2 shields issued commands. For the newly assembled random group, they work perfectly. Yeehaw was surprised and even blushed slightly in amazement. Since their team was assembled from already existing groups, the ratio is good. However, it's a pity that there aren't many magicians. The sergeant remarked. And the battle was almost at its height. Coming up, prepare for an attack. Voices came from the battlefield. Yeehaw was at a safe distance of 70 meters, so he was calm. Well, let's take a look at the boss of the field. It should be safe at this distance, he thought, and began to observe carefully. I'll get his attention. Someone shouted and fired a bow. Apparently, the task was completed with a bang. A huge bear appeared and growled loudly, so much so that all the attackers almost fell from the sound wave. The wave even reached the sergeant. He was dumbfounded and saw the answer to his silent question. Oh, stop, why? The distance is too great. Only after seeing a notification from the system. Oso's cry of agony. You can't move for 2 minutes. XP reduced by 10%. Stamina reduced by 30%. The notification read. The range of a normal magic strike is around 55 meters. Why did the attack reach me? I couldn't understand. And the bear was really big and showed its full height. It was standing on 2 legs with its upper legs hanging down. His eyes were glowing and smoke was coming out of his mouth, probably after his first attack. There were 2 large cross-shaped scars on each of the bear's paws. Damn it. Yes, he is the size of an elephant pole. It's definitely a bear. I was nervous too. Chapter 16. While hiding behind a rock, Yeehaw noticed an unpleasant sensation. But my legs won't move. Heck, damn it. Why even in the game am I supposed to feel this shitty feeling? Yeehaw couldn't move, and these memories after his injury in real life came flooding back to him almost immediately. Meanwhile, the field boss was on full alert. There are 2 minutes 3 left until the effect of the attack subsides. I beg you, it would be so nice if they caught the monster in that time. The sergeant was nervous, but on the battlefield, the attackers themselves were also not happy. Someone undo this debuff. Start with the tanks. Faster. The bear is looking this way. Start here. There was a complete commotion on the field. Players who did not expect 2 minutes of defenselessness were stunned, and the healers did not have enough time to release everyone. Hurry up. Nah, it's coming, someone shouted, and everyone saw a huge bear with sparkling eyes charge straight towards them. Then a knight with 2 shields appeared in the way of the boss and blocked his attack, holding him down with all his strength. Kapitan. All the players who were on the field were surprised. The captain was thrown out of the way, but kept his balance. I can withstand 2 more of his attacks. Tanks that have been released from the debuff. Get ready to turn his attention to yourself. Chimeras. Free the other chimeras from the debuff. He gave orders to his companions, trying to restore order among the players. It's coming again. The bear swung a huge paw straight at the captain. High protection, he shouted as he activated his skill and blocked the attack again. However, this time, his shield started to crack. Attack. The captain gave the command, and arrows and magic spells, fire, ice needles, and all the rest flew at the bear. The bear covered itself with its paws. Melee DD. Stay behind. Other tanks with shields gathered in front of the bear, and behind them were players with melee weapons. Tanks, keep your positions. By that time, Yeehaw, who had been released from the attack effect, was analyzing the situation on the field in full. Oh, I think they'll catch the bear, the sergeant decided happily. Captain, I need a break. Someone get the monster's attention, Bliznix shouted, while the ranged players were already discussing their victory. Seeing how fast the HP of the boss drops, we will defeat it in no time. Can we make a video? If it is from the battlefield, then you can earn money from it. Hearing their conversations, and Ha, who is literally behind, thought, some people have already stopped being nervous. Those in the back, stop chilling out. Prepare for an explosive attack. Its HP has increased by almost 20%. Thus, we must defeat him at once, the commander shouted. If its HP drops below 20%, the monster uses a new roar, and then we'll all be in danger, he warned his subordinates. The Dalniks reacted rather carelessly. Well, we'll just get caught up in another status effect. We almost got him. Let's take it easy. I'm not just chilling out, I'm replenishing my mana. I spent too much mana on healing. We need to restore it. The strength of the shield has been greatly reduced. I'll also step aside for a bit. What happens to everyone? Let's finish him off already. We're almost done here. The team was not so cohesive and many people began to disagree. Looks like the team has reached their limit, Yeehaw thought as he watched them from his hiding place. Everyone get ready. The monster's HP will drop to 21% soon. The commander warned and took on another attack from the bear. The marks of the beast's claws were left on his shields. Arrows and magic attacks rained down on the bear. It's all right. Before the captain could finish, the bear let out another deafening roar. Its XP has dropped to 19.9%. This time, his attack ignited the entire area. Fire magic. Can a bear use magic? All the attacking players suddenly started burning up. Me, I'm burning. Heal, hurry up. Heal doesn't work. This isn't just a simple fire magic. The healers couldn't save anyone present, including themselves. Holy shit. Everyone retreat. Back, the commander shouted. On the field, everyone was burning. A bear covered with an unusual flame was walking in their direction. Take me away. Help, asked the players burning alive. The group is disbanded. If you don't want to die, then run, the commander said to the last survivors, and then noticed Yeehaw, who was hiding behind a rock. What are you doing there? Didn't you hear what I said to leave? The commander was angry. I didn't even attack. Yeehaw was afraid of a sudden hit and run and answered, I didn't participate in your battle. Let's not be hostile to each other. Yeehaw smiled, trying to smooth things over, but the answer was the following. When he's in Oso's agony, regardless of whether you attract his attention or not, he'll attack anyone who comes in sight. He can chase the player for several days, so it's better to run to another hunting field. Commander Yeehaw shouted. What? A few days? The sergeant asked in surprise. The shortest time is 10 days, and so it can even be in this state for more than a month. So here we go, said the captain at the end and quickly retreated with the survivors. 100. Wait, you started it all, and now you're just leaving. Aren't you supposed to finish him off? The musketeer shouted after them, dumbfounded. In other words, I won't be able to use this road for about a month, but then I'll fail the lunchbox quest. Ow, why the hell did they put him in such a state? If I can't get to the capital in time, then I'll give this Kim flower all its petals for fuck's sake. Yeehaw was angry as he watched the rampaging fire bear. No, you need to think calmly. What options do I have? 1. Build a raid. I'm not sure. 2. Wait until some high LVL player manages it. I'm not sure. 3. It's impossible to get past the bear without being noticed. Nothing fits. I might not even be able to sell this expensive lunchbox. Then you need to come up with something else. Yeehaw raged and came up with the 4th most likely solution. To take down the bear yourself. And Ha drew his musket. No matter how you look at it, if a month passes, I won't sell the lunchbox or complete the quest. All or nothing. His HP is below 20%, so I have a chance to win. I don't have much time with so many people who have aggro hanging on. The distance is 70 meters. The wind is southeasterly. About 2 meters. Yeehaw stood up and took aim. Excellent. 3, 2, 1, and Haw fired. And the bear fell. Hit it. Right in the head. The musketeer rejoiced. At this time, the flower commander was already thinking about new actions. Maybe we should build a new raid. Since the monster is in such a state, even 20 people won't be enough. 6. No, with 7 teams, I think we have a chance. Mr. Kim Flower. Mr. Kim Flower. His players responded. We can't stop until we reach the village. We don't have time for a ball. Kim replied irritably. Oh, I don't mean that. Look back. The man who was hiding shot at the monster. The hill girl told him. What do you mean, shot? The commander said and turned to see Yeehaw standing with a gun. He was a musketeer. If I had known earlier, I should have included him in the team. The commander thought and asked, where did he shoot? Did he hit a bear? In the head? Yes, I got it right. The girl replied, the musket's attack power is the greatest in the game. If you attract the monster's attention, then perhaps you can defeat it in this way. The commander mused. Didn't the distance exceed 70 meters? How was he able to hit it from such a range? His companions noticed. If he was able to hit a monster from such a distance, then he obviously also has good skills. The commander decided, if we join him, can we take down the boss? There are almost no people left, so the drop will probably get a lot. 2 companions of the commander have already discussed new options for the outcome of events and their own benefits. Stop talking nonsense. We need to leave, the commander said and turned around. What? But the same player hit the bear right in the head. The girl started to protest. Yes, that person's skills are good. However, that's the end of it. The knight replied. The end? It takes a minute to reload a musket. You said he already fired, right? Therefore, it is most likely that he will die in this minute. The commander gave his verdict. At this time, Yeehaw only realized what a mess he was in. I got hit. It was a headshot. But why isn't he dead yet? The bear stood up and roared an attack again. I received a notification. Oso's cry of agony. You are subject to the effect fear. You will not be able to move for 2 minutes. XP reduced by 10%. Stamina reduced by 30%. Damn it. He stayed alive even after the headshot. I was overconfident. And what's more, it caught his attention. Yeehaw was afraid, and a huge bear in a blazing flame ran straight at him. Chapter 17. CHERT, hurry up. Yeehaw's hands were shaking, and he was frantically pouring powder into his musket. At this time, on the field, the last surviving tanker was fleeing from a bear that was catching up with it. UWAA. Not. Don't come near the. Remove those flames. Let's run. The player was all on fire and imminent death almost reached him. He's not stepping on me. The fear effect makes my hands shake. Yeehaw struggled to load his musket and tried to insert an iron bullet. However, in 2 minutes, the monster will have time to kill those players, and me to boot. Musketeer thought, and suddenly began to call for help from the recently retired commander, Luchniak and Hiller, the shield commander who was just here. Help, can you hear me? I'm sure I can make another attack. Get the monster's attention. Yeehaw shouted at the top of his lungs, but it was no use. Hell, he's probably already gone. The sergeant demanded angrily. Burning people were also calling for help on the field. Somebody help me. The bear was waving its paws, killing one by one, and everything around it was in flames. If this goes on, I'm dead. Yeehaw tensed up, but immediately gathered himself and took aim. All in a bunch, Haw and Haw, don't be afraid. What could be worse than death? Let's see if he can take a second headshot. There is only one goal. The bear was already looking in his direction, and Haw tensed up and fired. The sound of his shot rang out across the field and was heard by the flower commander. Again. What is it? He asked. Tin, that player got hit again. And again in the head. How is this possible? His companions noticed. When they turned around, they saw both Haw and the wounded beast. Wow, this is the first time I've seen such an attack. How could he? He has a cool marksmanship. The commander had nothing to say to that comment from the Hiller girl. Mr. Kim Flower, are you sure you won't come with us? He had already shot the bear twice. Obviously, the monster's XP is almost at 0. Let's finish with the bear, divide up the items, and eat. Hiller and Archer pleaded with the commander. How can you two talk so thoughtlessly? Other users will die soon, and then it will be the turn of that arrow. The commander replied. Then let's go back to the battle before the musketeer dies. If you, Mr. Kim Flower, will dance. Suggested by the players. If we get involved in a battle, I'll be the first one to die. I am. Plus, one of my shields is broken, so it's going to be hard to tank. Can you guys dance too? Do you think tanks are just meat shields? Kim Flower snapped back. An argument Hiller and Archer had nothing to answer. I'm sorry about that, player, but we have to go to the village. I'm serious this time. The knight threatened. So you just want to drop that shooter? Hiller asked. I gave him some advice recently. If he fired and didn't run away, it was his fault. That's all the Flower commander said. Vaw, that fucking bear is breathing fire. The last member of the team just died. Geez, the musketeer's running away too. Observed by the commander's satellites. Come quickly, we have to find people. Kim Flower was just leaving. We'll assemble a new team in an hour and return. He suggested, and he thought, great. The musketeer, you've done the hardest work, and we'll get the benefit. It can't be helped. In life, everything depends on choosing the right moment. The commander smiled at the thought of easy profit. Already in the village. Really a brown bear. The field boss. I've heard it's pretty damn hard to catch. The players crowded around the commander. See, even my shield is broken. Only we were left alive. We must defeat the monster before it regains XP. We are recruiting the team. Osso's almost caught agony. We need 7 tanks, 13 DDS and 5 healers. Who came first? That's the place. Loudly announced the commander and wanted around him gathered order. I'm a healer. I'm an excellent attacker. Once the team is assembled, it's time to go, said the commander. After 30 minutes, it's here. Everyone be careful. The monster can appear at any time. In front of the newly arrived players, the battlefield was all torn to shreds. Here and there, players' bodies were still burning. The ground was covered in huge beast scratches, and trees and rocks were destroyed. WAAH. Hard. Anyway, a boss is a boss. Tinplate. What huge paw marks. Players shared their feelings after what they saw. But where is the bear? Someone in the crowd asked. He killed all the users here. Obviously, the monster has changed its location. Be careful. Since it is large, it will not be difficult to find it. Shout as soon as you run into it. Kim Flower commanded. Players searched for the bear for 2 hours. It was already quite dark and everyone was on edge. Damn it. Where the hell is this monster? Maybe we were all lied to. 2 hours later. Where's the fucking bear? You said it was the size of an elephant. Why isn't he anywhere? Are you trying to trick us? Users turned against the commander. Oh no. You've got it all wrong. He was definitely here. You can see the traces of the battle. Its XP is almost 0, so it's just hiding somewhere. The commander justified himself without understanding what was happening. We'll look some more. But if we don't, you're the captain, a dead body for us. How infuriating. What do we do? It's been so long, and we haven't even started hunting. Users were angry and went in search of it. The commander was cornered. Damn it. Where's the fucking monster? The musketeer couldn't have killed him. What the hell happened then? The commander convulsively sorted out the thoughts in his head. 4 hours ago, Iha's eyes widened and he couldn't move. The same. Tinplate. No, he said. Where is it seen that even after 2 headshots, the monster remains alive? Thought Iha as he watched the monster kill the next remaining user from the previous team. This is just a scam. 4. First of all, it's time to get out of here, thought Iha after freeing himself from the debuff. Turning around, he saw the commander and his companions at the bottom of the clearing. Damn it, those people made a mess and just left. They were already far away. I was angry and but then I tore the bag of gunpowder with my teeth and decided, well, my wailing won't change anything. Charge your weapons on the go. You need to do everything the same as in practice. I've practiced this dozens of times. Just like in training. Soothed himself and loading the musket quickly. Loaded, great. Another headshot. Divided by let's see how you can handle a 3rd shot. Fucking Mel. After all, while Iha was aiming, in an instant, the bear was very close and ran at him with all its paws. In an instant, just as Iha was thinking, he was immediately hit and sent flying. Holy shit, this is much more painful than I thought. Does the assimilation rate of 20% hurt so much? The assimilation coefficient determines how much pain and other feelings a person will feel compared to real ones. Thank God that at least he didn't die, damn it. What the hell is wrong with my vision? Is this all because my XP is practically at 0? I can't even see the damn bear. Iha's eyesight has noticeably worsened. He is almost blind due to the low XP percentage. I can't hear his footsteps. Can he really walk without making a sound? Fucking monster. He really almost killed me. I can barely even feel the energy of the flame. Is this the limit of 20% assimilation rate? I need to pull myself together. Focus, If I get it from him again, I'll definitely die. However, the monster's life is also bursting at the seams. Both the bear and I can die from a single attack. I have heard of blind assassins, but here are the blind shooters. The blind shooter. That sounds like fun. Iha mused in the pitch darkness, the last thought making him smile. Here, found it in Ha and shouted, "Calm heart." The bear was very close and was already leaping at Iha with an attack, but the musketeer managed to shoot. Despite being hit from very close range, the bear only bled, but it remained on its feet. He's not fucking dead yet. You can't go anywhere, you fucking bear. Gun attack. Chapter 18. And Ha ran at the bear with a knife at the end of his musket, and with all his strength he pierced it. "Please, die at last." With that, Iha cut through the bear's flesh and fell unconscious at the same time. I seem to have fainted. Hell, if he's still alive, I'll kill myself. Where is this brown me? When Iha woke up unexpectedly, a whole bunch of notifications from the system fell on him. Level up, 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 level up. Well, I just got 9 levels at a time. Notification from the system. Musketeer skill level increased to level 5. The level of the skill attack with a gun and sword has increased to level 3. Musket level increased by 1. And gun attack level increased by as much as 2. I killed a bear. That's why I raised as many as 9 levels. Just got to the musketeer. In front of him lay the lifeless body of a huge beast. Iha climbed on top of him and started shaking him. Serves you right, brute. You seem to have enjoyed seeing Didi's fear of ranged attack. Give me my items. The musketeer gloated, filled with pride and happiness. Since it's not an ordinary bear, but the boss of the field, I think the reward will be holo. The new notifications have popped up before in Ha. Notification from the system. Achievement. Lord of the solo game. Congratulations. You single-handedly defeated an enemy with whom you have a difference of 50 levels. You who fought with the determination to die in battle will have a brilliant victory waiting for you. You are the first registered user of the achievement Lord of the solo game. The first 3 players to receive this achievement are inducted into the Hall of Fame. The resulting effect increases by 200%. Effect, 30 stat points. Am I the first person to receive this achievement? Notification from the system. Title, Who Knows No Fear. You get stronger by fighting someone stronger. Effect, plus 10% to attack power. The effect increases by 3 times when fighting an enemy whose level is 20 higher. Plus 10% to attack power. Notification from the system. Achievement, Flaming Headache. Congratulations. The hunt for the king of all bears, Agony Aso, was a success. May the blessing come with the one who got rid of the headache of the southeastern plain of the kingdom of Pubiel. Reward, Strength plus 4, Stamina plus 5, plus 70 to feat level for the kingdom of Pubiel. If you put it all together, I have 45 stat points. Okay, character window. Couldn't wait for Happy and Ha to see their updated stats. Name, Ha and Ha. Race, human. Class, musketeer. Level, 21. Rank, knows a little about weaknesses. Achievements, 12. XP, 750 MP, 175. Strength, 35. Agility, minus 88. Intelligence, 30. Stamina, 32. Willpower, 12. Remaining stat points, 135. The remaining ones. Stat points, 135. Are you sure? I don't think so. My stat points are already almost equivalent to level 30. So if I distribute the remaining stat points, I can raise my LVL to 27th. So, let's see what's going on. I think then I would be able to defeat anyone with level 50 who doesn't have achievements. Used aloud and Ha distributing the newfound points. Great. I'll spread out my glasses. Now it's time to use them. 168 dexterity points, 62 stamina points, 1350 XP ranged attack master with tank-like survivability. Iha turned around on the battlefield and saw complete destruction in weapons and objects lying around. Tin, you can go crazy, a place of brutal murder. My god, how could they die and leave such expensive things behind? You probably need to work hard to buy all this stuff. How unlucky. Someone will pick up this weapon, which means I can't just leave it lying there. I will use it as it should be. I collected and Ha joyful items and weapons on the field. And finally the most important thing. Brown bear items. Notification from the system. Excellent. A coat made of flame bear skin. Protection, 15. Effect, plus 30% strength. Fear-inducing attack resistance, plus 4 stamina. Required conditions. Strength greater than 30, agility greater than 50, stamina greater than 70. A warm coat made from the skin of the Bear King, Agony Aso. It contains a warmth that can melt even the fear that makes your blood run cold. Pawns will respect the king. Additional effect. 3 item set bonus, 30%. To the strength of fire resistance. 4 item set bonus, 40% of the fire resistance power. 5 item set bonus, 50% fire resistance. Excellent ones. Boots made of flame bear leather. Protection 60. Effect +4 movement speed, +2 agility, +10% fear-inducing attack resistance. Required conditions. Dexterity is greater than 80. Dark red shoes. They are made of elastic and durable leather, which does not cause inconvenience when moving. Additional effect. 3 item set bonus 30%. To the strength of fire resistance. 4 item set bonus 40% of the fire resistance power. 5 item set bonus 50% fire resistance. Excellent. A hunting hood made from the skin of a flaming bear. Protection 50. Effect +3 to dexterity, +10 to fear-inducing resistance. Required conditions. Dexterity is greater than 100. Dark red hunting hood. Thanks to the fact that the fabric does not limit visibility, the user can see into the distance. Additional effect. 3 item set bonus 30%. To the strength of fire resistance. 4 item set bonus 40% of the fire resistance power. 5 item set bonus 50% fire resistance. All 3 items are excellent grade. Even though there were no weapons, it was still fucking awesome. The musketeer was delighted with the new clothes. Even if you take all the clothes I'm wearing right now, they don't compare to a brown bear coat. And how did I even survive in my old clothes all this time? You need to raise your stamina to 70 and put on a new coat as soon as possible. Decided in Ha and quickly put on new things. How cool. This is only the first day, and I'm already so lucky. In the new flame bear leather clothes, Yeehaw looked completely different. The coat was large, and the musketeer's hood had animal paws on his shoulders and what looked like fangs on his neck. The shoes also matched the rest of the wardrobe items, and Yeehaw looked serious enough. Go to the capital, Yeehaw said resolutely and set off. Meanwhile, in real life, Commander Flower was under obvious pressure. His account received emails from other team members. A user named Kim Flower, please take a look. If you give me back the items I lost, I'll turn a blind eye to this incident. I understand that our raid was made in a hurry. But do you think it's normal to run away alone and leave your comrades to die? I watched the video and it felt like he ran off with a few other people at a convenient moment. How does it differ from the RC-10? So he assembled a team of special forces to kill all his comrades. I think he came back to the battlefield later, single-handedly finished off the bear, and snatched up all the items on the sly. It wasn't me. Fucking assholes. The commander slapped the table and read all the angry comments. It looks more like a weed than a flower. Haha. Kim Flower has assembled a team once again in the village of Oren, and this new raid of 30 people spent 3 hours searching for a brown bear. There weren't even any dead players on the battlefield, let alone the bear itself. A waste of time. Return other users' items in a nice way, thief. Damn it, I'm already pissed to death that I didn't find the brown bear, and they're still accusing me of stealing their items. Smashed the keyboard in a fit of rage. Commander, I'll get that goat out of the ground, you bastard. And if I can't find the culprit, they'll make a scapegoat out of me, and I won't be able to enter the game again. Who was it? Is he hiding somewhere? That musketeer couldn't take down the bear. Just get caught by me. I'll tear it to pieces. Fought the commander trying to find a way out of this situation. At this moment, an unsuspecting Yeehaw was walking through the forest, humming happy songs to himself. Since these are set items, my resistance power has been increased by 30%. My clothes are so awesome. I think that with this equipment, I can even resist Ram Hwa Yon's magic, thought Yeehaw as he stomped happily through the forest. Oh, that's right. Ram Hwa Yon and Ram Hwa Jong. Then he remembered how his younger brother had recently talked about his hatred for the Ram sisters. Difficult. Map. Let's see where they are. The musketeer opened the map and examined it. Emerald Forest and Tamba Jungle. Both of these places are quite far from the capital. Where are the Kamshaban? Maybe they're in another country. They don't even show up on the map. The musketeer's stomach rumbled. Damn, I'm starving right on time. Well, in order to eat, you also need to hunt. Let's find our own loot. Yeehaw walked past a sign that read watch out for the bear spawn area. He was already at least 5 days on the road and had reached level 25. Well, let's see. There must be one somewhere nearby. The musketeer moved on his haunches and very quietly among the bushes. Looking around, he came across a bear that was standing on its hind legs against a tree. Found it. The distance is approximately 60 meters. There is no wind. And Haw fired, but the bear didn't die. It would be convenient for both of us if that bear died with one shot. Well, I'm sorry, but he's a monster after all. It must hurt. Saurian. The bear growled angrily, dropped to 4 paws, but did not budge. He doesn't attack back. Surprised and Haw. Aha, this is all the effect of Bear King skin. Musketeer realized and was right. The bear was being buffed by the new Agony Osso skin clothing. Rest in peace. I took down the bear and Haw. Bear meat, bear meat. Well, at this rate, I'll probably take 30 LVL before I arrive. The musketeer rejoiced as he headed for his prey. Then there was a rustle behind him. And Ha turned around and saw the sweetest, fair, little bear. What is this lovely creature? Admired Yeehaw, and then suddenly the bear cub hugged his leg and was so cute. Khoo. Dangerous. Feeling remorse and emotion together, the musketeer was smitten. Woo, said the bear cub, and Ha tenderly held it by its tiny paws. Damn it, and how can such a miracle be killed? Ha said, pawing the most beautiful creature at the top of his voice. Caillou, the bear said plaintively. Ah, are you hungry too? Should I give you something to eat? Bear meat. It won't do, but I can offer you some bread. The bear cub started eating right from Yeehaw's hands. Eat well. It looks like you are very hungry. It tickles, little brother. He's even. He licks my hand. Then Yeehaw suddenly stood up abruptly. No, not again. Let's break up before I get too attached to you. I must hurry if I want to reach the capital on time. And I'll need to catch a bunch more bears on the way. I'm sorry, but let's not talk anymore. The bear cub gently hugged him by the leg and tilted his head to the side. Cute. Stop. Why are you so cute? Where did you learn to tilt your head like that? Is that an instinct? And Ha was defeated, smitten to the heart, and the bear cub didn't even know what he had done. Ah geez, what am I supposed to do with you? Musketeer picked up the bear cub. In the end, he took it with him. Chapter 19. The first thing Yeehaw did was call his brother to clarify the question that was bothering him. Tijon. Hyun. Already in the capital. No, we're still on our way. I'm already tired of walking. Ha. Be careful. Bears are very strong. With your LVL, you won't even be able to escape from them, so just follow your path. Yeah, Yeehaw replied, though he thought, rather, it's the bears who should be afraid of me. By the way, why aren't you sleeping? Don't you go to uni? Yeehaw asked. The exam is tomorrow. I plan to stay up all night and then take the exam. I just decided to go out for a raid a little later. What do you have tomorrow? Couldn't believe what I was hearing. I can't help it. The raid is more important. Hyung, you know that too, right? You need to set priorities. My aunt is clearly not going to like this prioritization. Maybe we should talk Kai Jong out of it. Yeehaw thought, turning on his brotherly responsibility. By the way, why did you decide to contact us? Kai Jong asked. Oh, I was just wondering. Can I tame an animal? At that moment, Yeehaw was looking at his little bear. Why do you need it? Do you want to buy a horse? No, I'm talking about monsters, animals that live in the field. The bear cub felt the tension in Yeehaw's eyes and decided to hug his leg. Do you want to train an animal for hunting? If your class isn't trainer, then you can't tame a monster because they instinctively mistake a human for an enemy. This can be considered impossible as long as you can't control the monster completely. Kai Jong replied. Are you sure? So I won't even be able to tame a monster if I feed and care for it from the very beginning of its childhood. Yeehaw stroked the cub's head and marveled at its behavior. Since I was a kid, have you seen a baby monster? It is very difficult to find them. You know that despite the fact that each monster has different XP, experience points give the same. Cubs don't have many XP points, but they have the same experience. What do you think will happen then? While Kai Jong was telling all this to his older cousin, Yeehaw gave his new pet a big kiss. What is it? Yeehaw asked. They're being brutally murdered here, said Kai Jong cruelly. Little XP, the same experience is a big advantage. Yeehaw was stunned by what he heard. Okay, I'll tell you all about it when I get to the capital. I have 5 more days in Midrose to reach my destination. Yeehaw ended the conversation, thinking, how can you kill such a cute little animal? And he hugged the bear. Not cool. I should have given you money for a scroll or something. Good luck, Hyun, come quickly. I want to see you. Kai Jong said goodbye. Yes, and good luck to you. Yeehaw replied and put the bear down on the ground. You can go crazy. I killed his parents and siblings, but I can't touch a kid like that. But if I leave him here, someone might kill him. What should I do? Thought Ha, and squatted in front of the little animal. By the way, the bear cub also sat in front of his man on his ass. I don't know anything. Come what may, decided Yeehaw, grabbing the bear cub by the scruff of the neck. So, go ahead baby, decided Yeehaw, and hugged the little kid. Went on the road. The next day, Yeehaw took down another bear on the hunt and leveled up. Great, I'm already 24 Latvian lats. The level rises at a good rate. He was happy looking at his prey. But then he turned in the direction of the bear cub, which was clearly already twice as big, cheerfully looking at everything around. The fact that the level rises quickly is certainly good, but why is the monster growing so fast? Worried and he went to pick up items from the corpse of a recently killed bear. 2 pieces of meat and 1 claw. Beautiful, the musketeer rejoiced. Woo, questioningly say bear cub standing on 4 legs behind and haw. After I sell it all, including that abandoned weapon, I'll get a lot of money. With overcoming the difficulties at the beginning of the game, it's much easier now. While Yeehaw was doing his own business, a yellow snake crept up on him unnoticed. And being a musketeer isn't so. What? What is it? A snake. Was I bitten by a snake? A snake bit his leg and suddenly Yeehaw became very ill. His vision blurred and he saw a notification from the system. You are poisoned. For 3 minutes, XP will decrease by 50% every 10 seconds. For 3 minutes every 10 seconds, minus 900 XP. My current XP is around 13.0. So, in other words, I might just die from a snake bite. Yes, in such thickets of snakes horseradish see. And, while the musketeer screamed in panic, the bear cub had already caught something in the thick grass. OOOH, did you catch a snake? Cool it. In front of the musketeer stood a contented bear cub with a yellow snake in its mouth. Well done, well done. You helped because you were worried about me, right? Ran to his savior and haw. But the bear cub violently shook the snake and ate it. You're so beautiful. Did not have time to finish the speech and haw struck by the picture he saw. Eating. Can you eat it safely? The sergeant was surprised and picked up the bear cub in his arms, holding it in front of him face to face. By the way, I think you've grown a little more in that time. Nuo, you're not bamboo. You can't grow up that much wood. You increased. The bear grew a little more right in the musketeer's arms. I guess I'll be able to ride it very soon. This is not a bug by accident, thought and haw. The next day, the bear cub has already grown into a big bear with a light coat in such a short period of time. And Haw was sitting on top of it. I really got on it. The musketeer wondered. Stupid developers. At least they didn't make the mob growth rate realistic. Well, otherwise there wouldn't be enough bears to hunt. Growth rate lesser than hunting speed. But it's already fully grown. Yeehaw looked at his already adult and not at all small bear. Moreover, my bear was attacked by players almost 6 times today. Yeehaw recalled the attack of a passing user team. He can die at any moment and not even have time to blink an eye. I need to make some identification mark. And Haw put a wooden "my bear doesn't bite" sign on the bear. That's not enough. Is there any other sign that will be more conspicuous? I think there will be difficulties with it when I arrive in the capital. Lunchbox and a bear. Maybe you should save your worries for later. Yeehaw decided and went to the nearest village on the way to check the reaction of others. They had just appeared at the entrance of the village when everyone started shouting. Why, me, the bear. 4. Why did you bring a monster here? People were alarmed. That's all. It's all right. This bear is obedient. And it doesn't bite people. It's just that it's a little bigger than a normal bear. Look at it, explained in Haw. Are you sure? One of the guards asked. And then our bear, in a fit of tenderness, stuck his head and Haw in his mouth. He was bitten by a bear. A whole head in one bite. Is this the boss of the field? Let's run. People have scattered everywhere. And these escaped. Well, I understand them. The dimensions of my bear are quite frightening. However, I don't feed him that much. Why has it grown to the size of a van? It can't be helped. It will probably be difficult to get into the village. Let's go, Yeehaw said as he walked over to his new pet. Ew, said the bear. There was some talk, and the musketeer listened. It really was. Bear rider. Isn't it possible to ride a bear instead of a horse? It turns out that you can ride a bear, shoot a musket. A bear instead of a horse, thought Yeehaw after listening and realized that someone was discussing it. Kid, can you run? He suddenly turned to his bear. Why? The bear mumbled questioningly, and then abruptly started running. So you could run. No, I can't believe he can understand orders. I should have tried it earlier. I clung harder to his fur in Haw. Let's go to the capital. Stop it, he shouted. Ooh, the bear answered him. But, can't we take the deserted road? Yeehaw asked. Woo, the bear growled questioningly, but didn't stop. They ran for quite a long time, a full 2 days' journey, but they finally reached their destination. This is the capital of Ailstock. We arrived in 2 days. Yeehaw was happy and thinking about his own affairs. Lunchbox, Musket Academy, T-John. Again, a lot of things to do. They were standing on a cliff face and in front of them was the majestic capital of the kingdom of Pubile Ailstock. Yeehaw was already walking towards the city, with his bear cub stomping nearby. Well done, we're almost there. Now let's go on foot, he said to his pet and thought otherwise we'll make a big fuss. Phew, said the bear happily. But unfortunately, the hype still started as soon as the bear was spotted at the entrance to the city. Such a big monster is here. Awesome bear. Hey, you, stay away from the bear. It's dangerous. People who noticed them advised him. What should I do? The hype has already started. We just got here and people are already panicking. Scratched his head and Ha not knowing how to proceed. This, the average boss, it's about the size of a field boss, asked the surrounding people with their weapons ready, and Ha tried to explain everything. I raised him since he was a child. It doesn't bite people. Just me. Sorry, can you hear me? Covering the bear, Yeehaw tried to settle the situation. Anyone below level 60, get inside the checkpoint as soon as possible. Such a monster can kill with a single blow. Is there a team that can kill this bear? Invite us. Gentlemen tanks, come forward. People were preparing for battle. Prepare for a boss battle. Sentries organize a defense. NPCs are joining in too. The NPC guards came forward and put up their shields. Behind them, a whole crowd of players had gathered, sharpening their weapons against Bear and Ha. Sentry NPCs. It looks like bad business. Yeehaw thought. Prepare to attack. Start casting spells. The archers drew their arrows, and the mages cast their spells in the direction of both Ha and the bear. Your mother. No, now listen to me. Nobody move. Start attacking and I'll shoot. I pointed my gun at them and Ha, but no one was listening. Flame strike. Aura arrow. Na and Ha sent 2 magic spells and not knowing what to do, he shot a magic flame ball flying at him. He didn't understand what had happened. Chapter 20. Holy Shield. Someone in knight's armor put up a magic shield and a bullet from Yeehaw hit the shield, cracking it. Scatter area. Another knight directed the technique at Yeehaw and the mages attacking him. And in an instant, all the magic spells were dispelled. A stranger riding a bear. They turned to the musketeer. And Ha didn't immediately realize what was happening. Put down your weapons. No one is allowed to cause trouble in Ailstock. 2 knights in shining armor and white robes were addressing Yeehaw. Anti-magic. Only the surrounding people realized what kind of technique was used on them. Holy Knight Squad. Someone in the crowd said, lower your weapons, stranger. The current situation is the result of a misunderstanding. The knight who had put up his shield earlier turned back to the musketeer, and Ha lowered his musket. Therefore, the penalty will not be applied to any of the parties. However, if you open fire again, there will be no forgiveness, the knights continued. Actually, they started it first. Yeehaw pointed at the 2 female magicians. We know. The knights responded. In any case, you are also responsible for creating this misunderstanding. They pointed at Miss Ka, who didn't understand why they were pointing at him. Therefore, we will turn a blind eye to the incident. One of the knights added with an active wink and Ha. Okay, I understand you, the musketeer replied. Thank you for your cooperation. The knight smiled. His partner went to join the attacking and Ha mages. In the capital, it is strictly forbidden to use offensive magic for those who do not have the appropriate permission. However, since you have used magic to ensure the safety of civilians, we will simply forget about everything that happened. He told them. So, the dissolution. You are blocking the passage to the checkpoint. Please disperse. The knight with bangs shouted, and people began to happily disperse while discussing the situation that had happened earlier. This is the first time I've seen the flame strike and aura arrow. The spells of those 2 were cool, but the magic of the knights who cancelled the spells was even more awesome. The musketeer was already moving on. Anyway, thank God everything's alright now, he said to his bear. Why? The bear would say. The knight noticed their distance and called out to Yeehaw. Mr. Stranger, can you follow me for a moment? Well, what else? Yeehaw replied irritably. You're not going to secretly kill me after I go with you, are you? Or kill my bear for safety measures? The musketeer asked bluntly. In the name of one of the holy knights, I, Sir Cinderguard, take an oath that I wouldn't hurt you or your bear. Will that work? The knight replied majestically. Well good. And Ha had no choice but to take his word for it. What do you mean it will go? He thought at this time. Sir Digram, I have received the consent of the stranger lord. Please accompany him. He turned to the other knight. Yes, Sir Cinderguard, the second man said. Is this like a way of greeting knights? Yeehaw thought as he watched the knight's strange gestures. Follow me, I'll escort you. The knight Sir Digram said politely to Yeehaw. Okay, let's go baby. Yeehaw agreed and led his bear along as well. The knight who had put up his shield during the battle stayed and thought while looking at the cracked shield. I can't believe the amazing holy shield that protects against physical attacks has cracked. Who is this guy really? At this time, a notification came to Yeehaw. Notification from the system. Achievement, respect for the Holy Knights Squad. Congratulations. This is the defense squad of the Knights of the capital of the Kingdom of Pubiel. One of the Holy Knights has sworn on his own honor before you. You can build good relationships with people who recognize your skills. Reward, total reputation on the continent plus 50. Achievement, a defensive unit of the Knights of the capital. I knew they weren't easy people. A good relationship, Iha thought as he followed the knight along with his bear. If a knight squad member respects me, then the knight commander respects me too. Up to this point, the total reputation on the continent was only 30, and now it's already 50, thought Iha, but his thoughts were interrupted by the knight accompanying him. I think we'll stop here. No, he said. What? Taken aback and Haw. Why is this bear with you? The knight asked him bluntly. What? Excuse me. Tried to dodge the answer in Haw. You don't need to be so vigilant, stranger. You're an honorary member of Candle Castle's Public Peace Squad, right? The knight who accompanied him asked him. Just then, the second knight's voice came from behind. It was hard for me to believe that such a gentleman would cause trouble in the capital. And, what? So you knew. Ha was also surprised. Of course, we know how much you work for the good of our kingdom of Pubiel. The knights replied. Is it the level of exploits for the state that has made itself felt? Or my reputation? Thought in Ha. So that's what happened. He began his story about the bear cub. Huo, did you raise a bear cub? You're not a trainer. While I was on my way here. In general, we realized that he would not attack people. There was a huge fire-breathing bear. Oh, the agony of Osso. I think I've figured it out now. I understand that the bear will not suddenly attack people, but it is forbidden to enter Ailstock. You remember what happened earlier. Therefore, despite the fact that you raised this bear, there may still be a panic in the city. The eldest knight gave his verdict after hearing the story. Then what should I do? Iha asked. A man to a human village, and the bear in the bear. Isn't that logical? The knight replied. You mean I should let him go? Musketeer Iha asked. Yes, and only then can I enter Ailstoke. That's right. Since he asked me if I trained him, it's obvious that trained monsters have some special designations. If the NPCs didn't understand this, then most likely the users won't be able to either. And then my friend will be in danger again. Iha mused as he stroked the bear's head. Okay, I'll let him go. The musketeer agreed. Thank you for your cooperation. The knights replied. Then I'll let him go and come back. Turned around and haw. Wait a minute. A stranger, that is, an honorary member of the Public Peace Squad. May I ask your name? The knight said to him. I'm a musketeer Ha and Ha. The sergeant introduced himself. Mr. Ha and Ha. The knight repeated after him and placed a clenched fist on his heart to show his respect. We remember your name well. The knights flew into the air on translucent, white angelic wings. That's funny. That is, a good name. We wish you a great trip. They added as they flew away. Why are they so cool? Heck, is it all because of their equipment? Hee-haw said, clearly angry at the entire squad. Let's go. Kitty turned to the bear and they left the capital. I think it's quite far from the capital, thought Hee-haw, stopping near the forest. It was already night, with a bluish full moon hanging in the sky, and Hee-haw was trying to explain the circumstances to his friend. Now we must part ways, but I don't know if you'll understand what I'm saying. It's best for both of us. Woo. The bear hugged Hee-haw tightly. Enough, come on, go quickly. Little brother, I'm telling you, go. Musketeer recalled all the moments spent together with the bear cub. It was really hard for him to part with his friend. I'll shoot you if you don't stop. Hee-haw shouted and pushed the bear away. The beast was upset and out of nowhere, it bit the musketeer's shoulder. Bro, it hurts. What's wrong with you? The musketeer was angry, but the bed would only lick the bite. Suddenly, the bear began to glow with a blue light. Hee-haw closed his eyes, unable to open them. Chapter 21. The glow around both Ha and Bear stopped and a notification came from the system. Achievement, a kindred spirit. Congratulations. You-hoo, despite the dangers, appreciate the living creatures of Midrose. A companion animal has appeared that is connected to your soul. Even if you are far away from each other, your companion will never forget you. Reward, Intelligence +4, Willpower +5, Skill Soul Link. Another one. Hee-haw was surprised to see a new pop-up window. Notification from the system. You are the first registered owner of the Soulmate achievement. The first 3 users who receive this achievement are inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also, you get an additional 200% of the real effect. Effect, Intelligence +8, Willpower +10. Related. A soul. Hee-haw thought. The bear was bursting into tears. Woo. No, he said plaintively. Oh my god, baby, and I'll never forget you. Take care of your health. Don't let anyone hunt you. Although with your size, you're more likely to be a hunter. You're a little smaller than the field boss, Hee-haw said while stroking his bear, compared to how small a bear he was when he met him. The beast had indeed grown to a huge size. The friends went their separate ways, and Ha to the city of people, Bear to the habitat of bears. Bye baby, Hee-haw shouted at the end. Woo. Bear drawled, and Ha walked sadly back to Ailstock. Somehow the mood dropped. What's wrong with me? Even when I broke up with Beamy and Jin Gonggon, it wasn't so sad, Yeehaw thought as he kicked rocks on the way. The bear sensed, apparently, the sadness of its owner and suddenly let out a loud roar. Yeehaw was startled and immediately received a notification from the system. Connection of novice souls. You can summon a kindred spirit. A summoned soulmate forms a physical body before dying and receives a buff proportional to the user's strength. Effect. Summon a kindred spirit for 30 minutes. Additional gain -1/2 from the user's level. Mana 200. Recharge time is 24 hours. Can I summon a kindred spirit? Does it form a physical body before death? This, so I can summon it even after death. Although there are some restrictions, I can meet him whenever I want. And since the achievement mentioned the word beginner, it means that I can raise the rank of the skill. And Ha was delighted with the new ability, which will allow him not to part with a friend forever. Get stronger. You'll do just fine. Yeehaw said into the air, thinking of his pet. The bear at this time, having returned to its native territory, was standing on a steep cliff, while other bears obediently bowed to it. It's already afternoon. I can't believe it's already afternoon. How far did I go? Took all night to get back here. And this is just the entrance. Yeehaw stood exhausted in front of the entrance to Ailstock. Well, anyway, I've arrived in Ailstock. The city was quite busy and there was a whole crowd of users walking around. Wow, there are so many people. How will I find Kai-jong here, thought Yeehaw, and called his brother. Hyung, are you in Ailstock yet? Kai-jong asked. Yes, but why is there such a crowd? The musketeer asked. When there is nothing to do in the game, the place where users usually gather is the capital. Hehe, did you forget that Midrose has 100 million players? The younger brother replied. Where are you now? Yeehaw asked. I'm at the south gate. And you're Hyung, aren't you? I've been waiting for you since this morning. Kai-jong replied. Where's the south gate? Somewhere. My brother only replied. Are you kidding me? How am I going to find you here? Angry and Ha. Then he heard Kai-jong's voice, not through the system, but right next to him. It's okay to get lost here. The south gate doesn't have any landmarks, so you just need to rely on your luck. Hehe. You need to search wisely. Kaijo stood not far from Yeehaw, wearing armor and a blue robe. If you came, then say you're here, man. Yeehaw got angry and attacked his brother, while he was laughing loudly. I just had so much fun watching what a noob you are. Not far from them, the brothers were being watched by a couple of users who had apparently come with Kai-jong. He's a real musketeer, one of them said. Obviously, he hasn't even reached level 15. The second one answered. Awesome. By the way, I noticed little brother in Ha's equipment. Ooh, test equipment. Is she like a high LVL? Yeehaw asked. The equipment must match my level. Kai-jong replied grandly. By the way, Hyung, you don't at all? Kai-jong asked, noticing Yeehaw's equipment. The musketeer did not understand the question, or stole items from other players. My brother laughed. No, I got it by hunting. Yeehaw replied. I can't believe it. Isn't 3 strong enough just to capture a wild boar? My younger brother was surprised. At this time, another person wearing a dark robe with purple edges walked up to them. How do you do? I've heard a lot about you from K. My name is Hyun. The man introduced himself. About me. Hello, I'm Ha and Ha. The musketeer introduced himself. He said you were a senior sniper sergeant in the army, and he never stopped praising you, telling you what hidden talents you have. Just as Hyun started to tell him, Kai-jong covered his mouth and denied everything in embarrassment. Ku, when have I ever said such a thing? Oh, so you are praising me. Kai-jong is a good guy. Oh, is this by any chance the clothes that fall from the boss of the field? The only person who noticed was a guy in black clothes and black hair who came over, from some brown bear. The guy continued. That's right, from the agony of Oso. Yeehaw replied. Hulu, it's unbelievable that you were able to get such loot. My name is Sasuke, the guy introduced himself. Are you Japanese? Yeehaw asked. No, I was just very inspired by a certain work. My profession is also connected with this. Sasuke replied. Hearing their conversation, Kai-jong asked. Paul's boss, the agony of what? Oh, you didn't know. The community has recently experienced such chaos, as a tank agony also may not know. Here Sasuke broke off his story after remembering something. Wait a minute, Oso's agony. And he has 3 things from the set. Such equipment cannot be obtained by a novice. He mused as he stood off to the side while the other 3 got to know each other. This is the grade 5 swordsman I told you about. Introduce yourself. Kai-jong introduced his brother to a playmate. I'm Tail, the swordsman said. My name is Ha and Ha. Hyung, if you're interested in anything, just ask. All the guys are very busy, but I called them here to help you. Kai Jong said, pointing at his friends. In order to decide on the hunting field, you first need to check your level. What level are you currently on? Up a bit, Kay asked his brother. And me, on the 25th. The musketeer replied. What? Everyone present was in a stupor, and they began the mini-meeting by standing in a small circle and whispering about the musketeer. You said it was around the 10th. The swordsman asked Kai Jong. He killed the golden eagle a few days ago. Kai Jong answered. And isn't this his first time in the capital? This is all very different from what you told us. My guildmates asked Ki Jong. He turned to Yeehaw and asked again. Really 25? Are you kidding me? It just happened. Plus, I did a little hunting. Said and Ha. Hunting? What do you mean? Kai Jong asked, not quite understanding what was going on. The robed man was watching them and analyzing them in his mind. If he caught a golden eagle a few days ago, he should be somewhere on 12 Latvian lats right now. How did he manage to go up more than 10 levels in such a short time? He thought and turned to Yeehaw. I think we'll see a lot of each other from now on. Can we make friends? Yes, Yeehaw answered and received a friend request, which he accepted. The rest of the audience also submitted applications. And I. Then neither will I. It's an honor. Well, since we've met each other, we might as well go. The robed man said. Guildmaster Hyung, are you leaving? Kay asked. Yes, I'll see you next time. The guildmaster said, and they disappeared into the magic circle. Have a good trip. Kai Jong waved at them. I envy you. You don't have to walk on your own 2 feet. Come on, tell me what happened to you. I'll buy us some food. Kai Jong suggested cheerfully. All right, bro. Yeehaw replied. They entered a small tavern and the musketeer began his story. Ha ha, where should I start the story? Some time later. Really? Hyung, did you really kill that field boss? Kai Jong asked, surprised. Yeah, and it really raised my level. Yeehaw replied as he slowly sipped his beer. -0. Off it. The musketeer's attack power is really cool. Ki Jong was speaking. Well, if you have time to take a few shots, and if you shoot at places that give critical damage, then I think it's not so impossible. Kai Jong analyzed. Really? Yeehaw asked. They were only called a raid, but they're really just a bunch of players gathered together in a hurry. Due to the fact that none of them knew each other, they had zero organization. And if the captain escapes, the monster's attention will be attracted by nearby team members. Obviously, this gave you time to deal damage to the boss. As far as I know, the main attack power of the musket is 233. Therefore, you would definitely be able to deal significant damage to the boss. However, only one shot is possible in 1 minute. Since the bear's HP was already low, I can believe that even you, Hyung, managed to kill the monster. Kai Jong said. Is this all because you were a sniper? I'll admit that you're the one who took down the boss, but I'm still in shock. There is an archer in our guild, but he barely managed to cover a distance of 66 meters at a time using a long arrow. And after he did it once, he gave up and turned the battle aid system back on. Kai Jong said as he ate the sausages. Isn't the standard range of long arrows 65 meters? Yeehaw asked. Initially, with the combat aid system turned off, he couldn't even get close to the maximum range. Therefore, he was only able to reach such a distance because he used the combat assistance system. My brother was telling me and suddenly noticed one discrepancy. Oh, by the way, that's kind of weird. Isn't the range of musket bullets only 40 meters? Hyung, did you kill the field boss with 1 shot? Ki Jong asked. Since 3. And in the end, I used my bayonet and took down the monster in close combat. Yeehaw replied calmly. What? Are you serious? But after all, in addition to the range of bullets in 40 meters, the musket also has a reload lasting 1 minute. Was there a bear standing still while you shot him 3 times? Kai Jong couldn't believe it. That's why. That I was hunting with the combat assist system turned off. Yeehaw replied calmly. Are you playing with the help system turned off? Why? My brother suddenly shouted. That's the only way I'll get used to it. Yeehaw replied. Wow. Our Hyung doesn't seem to be alright. Hyung muttered as he listened to his brother. If you enable the system, the target hit rate is fixed at 50%. As it is, I can't hunt. Yeehaw replied. And how much did your firing range increase then? Did you even hit someone? Tay asked. Up to 100 meters. And all 3 shots were in the head. Yeehaw replied, taking aim with his musket. Why are you saying such important things just now? Kay asked angrily. Because you just asked me, man. Bumped head on with him and Ha. Hyung. Will you join our guild? The younger brother suddenly stated and held out his hand. Huh? Said Yeehaw, surprised. Chapter 22. The guild. I won't join you. Yeehaw replied in a calm voice. What's going on? Why? Kai Jong snapped at him furiously. Just like that, Iha replied. You know that our guild is quite popular, right? Kim Jong began the story and summoned the mantle of his guild. Note, Pelcho or Sambelcho, regular troops of the Goryeo feudal state. Sam means 3. You haven't heard of the Pelcho guild. I specifically told the guild master and the top guild members about you. Don't you recognize these 3 stars? Already in despair, he showed the guild crest to Kai Jon. Oh, they don't recall. If it's 3 stars, is it Sambelcho? Did they fight the Mongols? Ha was also perplexed. Ha, you make people feel uncomfortable all the time. Do you remember that Hyun Hee and we met recently? He's our guild master. He's so good that he's even appeared on TV. In Korea, it is on the 8th place. Kai Jong tried to talk his brother out of it. On the 8th place, Iha asked. Cool, isn't it? If he just used magic once, it would be such a boom. Do you understand? And all the enemies then are like boo. K praised his master. Where in the world is he? The musketeer asked. In my opinion, on the 40th. I don't remember exactly. Kai Jong replied. Oh, I see. Iha drawled absently. Why are your reactions so sluggish? Once again, in Korea on the 8th, and in the world on the 40th. Doesn't that surprise you? Iha didn't have anything to say. Thinking of Ram Hwa Jong, the ice mage with the 9th place in the world. Which one are you on? Iha asked, hoping to change his brother's record. Heh, my friend, you ask too many questions. Ki-jon began. Stop showing off. I'm almost in the top 100 in Korea. There isn't a single person on our hunting field who doesn't know the name Templar Master K. They also call me Invincible, Immortal Tank, or simply Master K. I'm so cool, but at the same time humble. Hehe, said Kai Jong. Should I shoot him sometime? Iha thought, angry at Kai Jong. And you're bragging about being one of the top 500 best players around the world. Iha asked. They clinked glasses together. Beer froth was pouring out. Isn't this a good indicator among the game's 100 million players? If I get 2 LVL Appen, I'll be on the 200th level. I'm not finger pointing either, Master K said with a wink. Are you on 198 Latvian lats? Surprised and ha, your level is higher than I thought. Are you surprised at my level? Let's eat first. Then I'll show you around the capital and walk you to the academy. Before I go hunting, I can be your guide for a while. K offered his services. What about the money? Iha asked. I guess you haven't forgotten. K sighed. Meanwhile, at Ki-jon's guild, the guild master and Sasuke were standing by the large window. The swordsman we met earlier was leaving somewhere. Then I'll see you later, Mr. Guild Master, the swordsman said. Hyunam Tail, have fun, the guild master said. See you later. Sasuke said goodbye. They waited for the swordsman to leave the room. How boring he is. The guild master's smiling face changed. That's right, Sasuke replied. I'd like to talk for a bit. Is there no one around? The guild master asked as he sat down in his chair. Sasuke's eyes flashed and he instantly scanned the entire building. No one, Sasuke replied. Great. After all, almost no one can resist your scanning skill in Midros. Guild master smiled maliciously, then looked at Sasuke and asked, did you see it? Yes. He changed all his clothes, but his body type and weapons matched the one in the photo. Sasuke replied. On their desk was a folder with a photo of Ha and Ha in their old gear, and behind it were printouts of the players' comments on the recent Brown Bear incident. However, the body addition and the weapon coincide with what is shown in the photograph. Are you sure it's him? High in the vein of not the 25th. However, I couldn't see the rest. Couldn't you check his ability level? I think that means he's obviously not a novice. Are you sure it's him? Said the guild master. There is a high probability that yes, and his level is 25. However, I couldn't see the rest. Sasuke replied. You couldn't check the level of his abilities. The master asked. I think that means he's obviously not a novice. Sasuke replied. What about your achievements? The guild master asked. I couldn't see it. The subordinate replied. Hella, I knew this would happen. The guild master drawled. They were in a small office with a large window. The only furniture in the office was a wooden chair, a large desk, and an armchair. Fucking sisters. They did a good job of covering up everything. So they want to lure him to their side. Staked out means bloody scum, the guild master said angrily. His face was drawn in a terrible grimace and his eyes were like a madman's. They approached him knowing he and K were related. Did you take this guy in to get close to K or force him to break into our guild to steal information? The guild master asked. I don't know, Sasuke replied, standing next to his boss. I know, I didn't say that just to hear the answer. It just pisses me off that I can't figure out what their plan is. The master replied. I could see the guy's rank. Sasuke said. Rank? And what is it? The master was intrigued. He uses the title Fearless, Sasuke said. What does it do? The guild master asked. increases attack power. I heard that to get it, you need to defeat a monster that is 20 levels higher than the player. Sasuke replied. Those ram girls seemed to appreciate him terribly. Then they gave in to his last attack, the master said, and became lost in thought. A Korean who has received an offer to team up with these two bitches. It's definitely him. Other than this type of player, there are no other musketeers in Korea that are in the same level range. So, I'm sure it's him. There is no doubt that Ram Hwa Jong and Ram Hwa Yon have become close to him and are now watching his back. The master summed up his thoughts, but we haven't seen them together yet. Sasuke remarked, think logically. He also said that a few days ago, when he left Candle Castle, he had 12 LVL, and he was not going to hunt, but to the capital. However, he's already level 25 right now, and on it were items that drop from the boss field. It wouldn't have been possible without the help of those two scums, the guild master said. But he could also beat him in solo, couldn't he? Sasuke said. Come to your senses, Sasuke. What nonsense is that? The master slammed the table and stood up abruptly. How would a solo player be able to catch Asu's agony while at 12 Latvian lats? And you said yourself that even your skill failed to view the level of abilities and achievements of this type. It was obvious that these two sisters had used a concealment item on him. Or do you think that idiot already knows how to use the scroll to hide information about himself? If the Ram girls caught Asu's agony and handed over all the items to that bastard, then he's already with them for one. This suggests that the Ram sisters were at the south gate until recently to catch Asu's agony. Since the field boss appears randomly, the guild master ranted like a madman. Sasuke watched him and was in a stupor. Raise the reward for catching the Ram sisters, and tell Kay to keep an eye on that goat. The master shouted. Yes, I said. Kay said. Don't trust everything to Kay. You also check the location of this guy every time. That's why I told you to make friends with him. Got it, the subordinate replied. Also, Sasuke, use items regularly to hide your location in his friend's info window. We must not let him know where you are. The master gave instructions. Yes, I said, Sasuke replied, and together with the guild master, they stood in the middle of the magic portal. Come on, the guild master said. Hey, how do I look? Pretty. The guild master forced a smile with his fingers. Yes, your expression seems kind. Sasuke replied dryly. Oh, don't lie to me. No, I need to use only good vocabulary again. Then let's go, Mr. Sasuke. The transformed guild master said in an instant and hugged his subordinate. Meanwhile, Kay and Iha were looking around the city. Iha kept going through his map carefully. I'm surprised you even have a 5 gold card. Kay said, so there's a gun shop here, and a dry goods store there. Studied the map and Haw. How long are you going to stare at the map? My brother asked him. These are the basics for a sniper. I need to know everything about the area. Iha replied, not without pride. Come on, Hyung. I'll show you where the academy is. Go ahead, Master K. By the way, have you thought about what I said recently? Iha asked him. You mean that sacred grill quest or whatever it is? When I reached 100 Latvian lats I completed all the quests in the novice village. However, I had never heard of this quest. Kai Jong replied. Did you return to the novice village after reaching level 100? Ha was also surprised. And that lunchbox, or whatever it was, probably never sold. I haven't even heard anything about it from the rumors. If someone received such a quest, wouldn't they eat this lunchbox themselves? Even I would have Eskamiakal. Ki John was speaking. I looked through the map, but I didn't find the second point of the sacred grill in the capital. And Kai Jong also said that there was no such place. According to Kai Jong's guess, it's possible that no one has ever opened this quest here before, or that someone just ate the lunchbox themselves. Thought Iha and remembered what Kay said about it. You can continue playing the game without paying attention to the invitation in honor of the opening of a new eatery, or the drop in the level of intimacy with the NPC. I don't think we should even go back to Candle Castle, because the capital city is full of other quests that will help me regain my affinity level. Perhaps everyone else thought so, but if I still complete this quest, the second point of the Sacred Grill will open, right? Iha thought. The second eatery, Sacred Grill in Iha's view, looked like a large tavern with a huge Madame Lu at the entrance. And then the map of the capital will change. These thoughts of Iha were interrupted by Kai Jong. I don't think anyone has completed this quest. You know I'm on 198 Latvian lats right now, right? If I ate that lunchbox, I'd be at 202 by now. Even if I hunt for a whole week in real time, I won't get more than 2 levels up. Kay told me. Is it that complicated? The musketeer was surprised. Yes, leveling up is not a joke. If it's so hard for me, then imagine what it's like for the top rankers. Time is money. I would save myself more than 100 days in Midros. I mean, I would definitely eat this lunch box. He talked about the difficult fate of K rankers. Thought Yeehaw. This, Hyung. K asked his older cousin. Said Yeehaw. How about that? To sell it? What is it? He asked his brother, and Ha was surprised. I think it would be kind of stupid of you to eat this lunchbox right now and upgrade to level 4. But you won't be able to walk with him until you reach 200 Latvian lats, K suggested. Because of efficiency. Yeehaw asked. That's right, K said. You can also sell it at a good price. Much more expensive than you think. K said, and Yeehaw thought about his mother and disability in real life. Kai Jong is right. If I sell the lunchbox, there will be money for medical treatment and daily expenses. Since you've met our guild master, I think you'll also be introduced to the top players in Korea. For the rest, you only need to rely on your luck, K was saying. Yeehaw smiled and replied. Okay, chapter 23. That's right, nothing happened. K agreed, but Ha interrupted him too. I'll think about it, he added. K was angry. You said good, so you're not selling a lunchbox. What is it? He asked angrily. I said good because I thought I'd think about your idea. The musketeer replied apologetically. What's there to think about? Yelled K, holding his head with both hands. The sniper should not immediately pull the trigger as soon as he sees the target. Yeehaw replied while holding an imaginary rifle in his hands. Oh, about the lunchbox. It's a secret. Yeehaw replied. I study at the Faculty of Business Management, so I have a lot of smarts. His brother tried to convince him otherwise. Then the guys were approached by the knights, with whom the musketeer had to get acquainted earlier. Oh, I didn't expect to meet you here, Mr. Ha and Ha. One of the knights said. Squad, holy knights, Kai Jong thought. What did you do to make them come after you? K panicked. I didn't do anything. Yeehaw replied. K opened the hidden message box. Search for and arrest particularly dangerous criminals. Inspect any threats related to the kingdom of Pubiel. These are all the duties of a holy knight squad. He wrote to his brother. Why do you have such a reaction, as if I betrayed the country? My brother answered him. Okay, introduce yourself to them first. This gentleman. Yeehaw began. Note, his name is Cindergaard, but the part Cinder is similar to the Korean word prodigy. Sir Prodigy Herod. Yeehaw started to say as his friend started laughing. The first person who introduced himself was devastated. Is he Korean? K asked. I think he's an NPC, Yeehaw said. And Sir Digrom. And this is Sir Prodigy. Fahan. The knight couldn't help but laugh. I am Sir Cindergaard, said the other, offended. He called you Sir Prodigy Digardo. Phew, this is Cindergaard. Fix the bug in Ha. So they had Sir in front of their names, so it wasn't a surname. Yeehaw thought dumbfounded. Note, Sir and the surname Seo are the same in Korean, so the main character made a mistake. Hyung, you're such a prankster. I texted K's brother. Sir Cindergaard, what is your business with me? He asked the knights. Does it have to be a case? We were just passing by and wanted to greet you, the knight replied. I'm afraid I can't believe it. Yeehaw thought. You don't have to worry about that guy. I let him go in the southern forest, said Yeehaw about his bear. Of course you did. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to get to the capital. Blagoda Rome for your cooperation. The knight bowed. And this gentleman, from the Pelcho Guild, I understand. He noticed Kai John's robe. Oh, yes, I'm Master K. Kai Jong replied, confused. We are well aware that the Pelcho Guild is fighting on the western borders. We express our gratitude to you on behalf of the kingdom of Pubiel. The knight shook his hand. I was just farming experience, K said, confused. Then see you later, the knight said goodbye. Did you really just come over to say hello? Clarified in Ha. So far ... Yes, Sir Cindergaard said cryptically. UWAA. This is the first time I've seen holy knights decide to talk to someone first. Kai Jong was surprised. First time? Yeehaw asked, but his brother was already in his narcissistic thoughts. Maybe it's because I've improved my reputation. Or because they recognized our guild. No, wait. They're not talking to me, they're talking to you, Hyung. How do you know them? He asked, coming back from K's fantasy world. Even I spoke to them for the first time. Master K was actively questioning his brother. They probably just came over to make sure because of the bear. Yeehaw answered evasively. A bear? K asked, and the musketeer told him the whole story of their acquaintance with the knights. Oh, well, if you met them then, everything becomes clear. Otherwise, it would be strange if the NPCs didn't recognize me first, a player with a reputation of 150. But you, Hyung, you have 150. I have 80 right now. And you only have 150. You're on 198 Latvian lats. Ha was also surprised. What are you getting at? In order to increase your reputation, you need to hunt a lot. Even if you destroy a monster in solo, your reputation will go up like hell. What cancer? You've already gained 80 reputation points. Ha Hyung. Kay shook his brother angrily by the shoulders. My head is spinning. Well, I was just doing quests, so the reputation increased. Iha replied. Hyung, reputation quests are only available with 200 Latvian lats, so even I can't complete them. Have you found a more effective method? Kay asked, pulling away from his brother. I don't think so. I only completed quests that matched my level. Iha replied. And you raise your level quickly, and your reputation too. I don't know if it's weird or unbelievable. I'm looking forward to what you'll be doing next, Hyung. Kay said. I play for money, Iha replied. That's right. You need money for the operation. Kay remembered. Well, if you want to earn money, you should start by improving your class skills. Kay stopped there. Who? It's a building. The Musketeers' Academy. Iha asked. The building they were standing in front of was old and probably in disrepair. The wooden shutters were broken long ago. The place seemed abandoned. It looks a little shabby, doesn't it? Very much. Not a little. Iha agreed. By the way, the magnificent building we passed recently, the Temple of Arlo, my academy. I didn't miss the opportunity to brag to Kay. Isn't that class discrimination? Iha asked irritably. Our academy is so big because it trains paladins, templars, priests, sisters, and monks. Here's 2 gold coins to start with. This will help you solve urgent problems, and sell your clothes as soon as you level up properly. Otherwise, if the members of the same raid recognize you, there will be no problems. Brother Kay advised, and showered Iha with all sorts of gadgets and food. Thanks, man, Iha said, dumbfounded. If anything happens, call me. I went to do some quests. Kay said goodbye. Okie dokie. Thank you, then I'm off. Kay said goodbye and headed for the building. Is anyone here? He asked as he entered the building. It's like being in a haunted house, Iha said when he saw how cluttered and almost destroyed everything inside was. Why those damn Midrose developers? As Iha ranted, 2 eyes flashed behind him. Someone was hiding there with a musket. Can't they do anything normal for the musketeers? I finished my lamentations and how a gun was pointed at his head. Don't move, and don't answer it. Just breathe, or I'll blow your head off, said the unknown. He's not a simple shooter. Perfect disguise. I didn't even feel his presence. Iha thought. Just move your mouth. Move the other parts of your body and your head will blow up. Who are you? He asked. I am a musketeer said Iha. Who sent you? No one sent me. I received an invitation to the academy from Commander Zayat of Candle Castle's Public Order Squad, Iha replied. Take exactly 3 steps forward and turn around. Just 3 steps. Otherwise, there will be a hole in the head. 4 steps will affect the percentage of hits on the target. And if there are 2, you'll have a chance to grab his gun. This is a special method of musketeers to dominate the enemy Prosek and Ha. Put the invitation on the floor. Since the powder box is empty, do you mind if I put my musket down as well? Iha asked. At least you've already fired a few shots. Take 3 more steps back. If I do too, my head will fly off. Right? Judging by your audacity, you're not native. Yes, I am a non-native musketeer, Iha replied. The musketeer in the hat was holding it at gunpoint, and on his knees he took the letter in his hands and quickly got up. Honorary member of the Candle Castle Public Order Unit. You have experience hitting the target from a distance of 100 meters. Instantly calculated my achievements. Is it because he's an NPC? Iha thought. Follow me, said the unknown. They came to a small office. There was a stuffed deer's head on the wall, a table covered with a blue cloth, and a chair in front of it. There were also many stuffed animals and other animals. There are no others, as I understand it. Since this is an academy, it is somewhat similar to a school. Aren't there any staff here? Looked around and School? Stop playing the sucker. Sit down, the musketeer commanded. Iha instantly sat up. Such a familiar feeling. Without realizing it, he followed the order. I immediately remembered something. Senior Sergeant. This is the Senior Sergeant. Did I join the army again? If I think about it, being in the army will make my life easier, since I'm used to this place the most. Thought in Ha. At this time, the musketeer commander was reading a letter from Zayat. Zayat was full of praise. Hardworking, spares no effort for the good of Candle Castle, and he can become a great knight that will support the kingdom of Pubiel. So please take good care of him. This is the first time he writes such a recommendation letter. What is it? The senior musketeer asked, sitting back in his chair. Really? I'm glad. Confused and This is all bullshit. The city is full of nonsense. He also stutters about some efforts, the senior musketeer said, and threw the letter on the floor after crumpling it up. a musketeer doesn't need hard work. Talent decides everything, he said, leaning his hands on the table. The wide brim of his hat cast a shadow over his eyes, leaving only the fiercely glittering pupils visible. There was a blue feather on the hat. She was wearing gloves and a blue cloak wrapped around her shoulders. Although your efforts will come in handy in shoving gunpowder with a ramrod. What is it? Said the senior musketeer. I think I understand what you're saying. Iha smiled. You think so? Funny. Are you confident just because you hit the target from 100-meter range? The commander asked sarcastically. No, Iha replied humbly. You say that you understand, so it will be much easier. The commander stamped his foot. Get up, let's light a fire, he said, and Iha looked down at his musket with a smile. Chapter 24. Did he say let's light a fire because we're shooting with a matchlock? Iha mused as he followed his mentor across the creaking boards of the academy. I think there will be a test now. Wait, isn't just being level 10 enough to join the academy? Then why is he going to test me? While Iha was thinking about his entrance exam and looking for a catch, a notification came to him. Notification from the system. Let's see what you can do. Director of the Musket Academy Bezbravi is going to test your skills and willpower. He has high hopes for you, but don't be so alarmed. Even if you do not meet his expectations, there will be no punishment, as you are a novice musketeer. Goal: to pass the Bezbrov exam. Reward: failure conditions, exam failed. In case of failure, refusal to join Musket Brown Bess Academy. Do you agree? The Academy entrance exam. What kind of nonsense is this? There is no normal description, and if I fail, I will be denied entry. Even the reward is unknown. Iha was confused. What are you doing? Scared? Director Bezbravi asked sarcastically. No, conversely, I'm looking forward to the test. Iha replied. They stepped out onto a large landing. There were a lot of targets and stuffed animals on the green area. The training center is a place that you need to visit frequently, up to 200 Bulgarian lev. He did not announce any conditions. It turns out that the penalty in case of failure is the inability to join the academy. The developers want me to quit the game. Iha mused as he carefully examined his musket. However, if you think about the nature of the musketeer, especially a sniper, I understand something. This quest is needed to make me give up. Iha was sitting on a chair in the middle of the training ground. The wind gently touched his hair, the sun shone softly on everything around him, and our musketeer's thoughts never left his head. A sniper is not an ordinary soldier with a rifle. Recklessness will not only threaten the sniper's life, but also the lives of his allies. The correct answer is to refuse the quest. Up ahead, there were scarecrows with scary faces here and there. In order to take 2 steps forward, you need to take 1 step back. Any good shooter must know this truth. That's what he checks. Understood? And ha. But that's not the answer I want to choose. Moreover, I don't intend to lose. The sergeant cheered up. KHY, 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 said the director, amused. That's a funny expression on your face. This is a training field, a place you'll never be able to use if you fail, the director said as he moved closer to the musketeer. Iha quickly visually divided the entire training field into segments and calculated the distance. Basic structure of the shooting field. From me to the target is about 40 meters. This is the standard distance for a musketeer with a keyed combat assist system. Thought in Ha. Editor's note, running fire is shooting on readiness, not on command, and they shoot without stopping until they run out of ammunition. Through, on target or runaway fire, choose what you prefer. The director glared at him. If you fail, you'll be out of here right away. However, if you give up now, I'll start teaching you the basics, suggested an escape route Bezbravogo director. By goal, quick fire, I understood that. However, what else is a pass-through? Flashed through the thoughts of Iha. I will shoot at the target. Iha replied, holding his musket at the ready. It is better to choose what I am more confident in. He decided. By goal, then. Interesting. The director smiled. I have a question. Iha suddenly raised his hand. Which one? The director asked. How many people took this test? Iha asked. 2. The director replied. Other than 2, no one else has tried it. Specify and Ha. The wind blew leaves across the field. Tried it. The director did not understand at first, and after glaring at Iha from under his brow, he added, from those who passed, just 2 of them. The probability of hitting the target from a distance of 40 meters is 50%. How could only 2 people get through? Did not understand and Ha. What is the point here? Then how many people were there who tried to pass this exam? What is it? He asked. Why do I need to know the number of cowards who gave up or how many idiots failed the test? The director asked, taking off his hat and brushing the dust off it. Well, at least there were more than 1,000 of them. No, he said. There are more than 100 million players in the game. It can't be that only 1,000 people have tried to pass this test. I think that out of 100 million users, at least 5,000 musketeers have reached here. It turns out that the probability of passing 0.04% is. What kind of test is this? Don't you just need to hit the target from 40 meters away? Thought Ha, and the director walked with a steady and measured step to the scarecrow in the center of the field. So the scarecrow is a target. That's right, it's only 40 meters, thought Ha. But then the director moved on from the scarecrow, straight to the wall. What does it do? I went further than 45 meters. Stop, it's already more than 50 meters. How far is he going to go? Ha was restless, and with each step the director took, the anxiety in his chest grew. The director stopped at the farthest wall, 55 meters. Well, from this distance, you can also hit the target. But what should I aim at? There's no target. Wait a minute. It can't be. Ha swallowed after what he saw. The headmaster took a feather from his hat and stuck it in the wall, pointing out with his finger that it was a goal to pass the test. In this, now it's clear why only 2 days have passed. The golden eagle that flew in the air at a distance of 100 meters was a much bigger target. It looks no bigger than a dot. Ha was looking closely at his target and was very dumbfounded. The sun was right in his face, so the sergeant had to shield his eyes with his hands. I'm surprised that anyone even managed to pass this exam. There's nothing you can do. There is no turning back. It remains only to try. Ha decided, taking a deep breath. The director came back, sat down in his chair, and crossed his arms. Go ahead. There is only one option. Ha thought and commanded the system, setting the synchronization level. The window changed sync level. The flesh and Ha in the game started to disintegrate. The skin was separating from the body. Increase the synchronization level to the maximum. Ha commanded and the system responded. The synchronization level can be increased up to 50%. Ha was glowing all over and thoughts flashed through his head. I've trained enough. Now I need to rely only on my feelings. Increase the synchronization level to 50% available at this level. The system declared. On acute feelings that are similar to real ones. Decided Ha. Notification from the system. Over-adjusting the synchronization level can harm the player. All responsibility for any harm caused to the player in reality or in the game due to an increase in the synchronization level falls on the user himself. Do you agree? Yes, Ha replied, and his flesh disintegrated and was reassembled. Notification from the system. The sync level is 50%. Let it be just that, 50%, but my senses have become much sharper. I want to try 100% syncing when I level up. Ha decided, comparing his feelings to what they were earlier. Ha grabbed a bag of gunpowder. Reload without ramrod. The director remarked. Yes, Ha said. By the way, it's a good thing you didn't choose runaway fire. Otherwise, it would have definitely flown by. The director said while watching him. Is he implying that I'm slow? Ha thought. The musketeer took aim and got down on one knee. The distance is 55 meters. The target size is 10 centimeters. Small, almost invisible. Well, nothing. I'll just think of it as a target from 250 meters away. Decided Ha. Inhale, exhale, and he's not bad. The sight doesn't shake, and your breathing is stable. Yes, and he has the willpower. Come on, show me what you're worth, kid. Thought the director watching the young musketeer Ha. Ha was adjusting the scope at that moment. I see it. In Ha's eyes, the feather became bigger and closer. I can see her clearly. The feather grew bigger and bigger, as if up close. It is enough to look at the goal once, and then gradually it will seem bigger and bigger. Skill activation. A calm heart, Ha said aloud, and everything around him began to glow faintly with a blue light, and the distance from Ha to the target was covered with blue roses. Ha pulled the trigger. His breathing was even. My hands didn't shake. Inhale and exhale. And he fired. The gunshot rang out with a rumble all over the training field. Hit it. The question hung in his mind. Chapter 25. Got it. Ha shouted with joy. The bullet hit right on target. Bullseye. Musketeer thought, smiling. The director looked at the guy in surprise and said, right on target. Impressive. The guy thought, can he see from here? It wasn't even him who fired the shot. For me, the goal looks no bigger than a dot. The guy asked surprised, you won't check. The director laughed. Don't make me laugh. If I said you got hit, then it's true. I haven't seen them in a long time. Such interesting shots. The director adjusted his hat and patted the musketeer on the top of his head. Ha still couldn't believe what had happened and thought, I can't see at all. The director said sternly as he left, follow me. System notification. The let's see what you can do quest has been completed. The level of intimacy with Musket Academy Director Brown Bess Bezbrov has been increased by 30%. System notification. Achievement. The Three Musketeers 8+. Congratulations. You have successfully passed the Bezbrov exam. The Brown Bess Academy was founded by three of the most famous musketeers in the history of the Kingdom of Pubiel, and one of the founders was Bezbrovi. You will get recognition even if you take a regular test, or perhaps you will become one of the three musketeers of the new generation. Reward. Dexterity +15. Total reputation on content +20. System notification. You are the third registered holder of the Three Musketeers achievement. The first three users who receive this achievement are inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also, the achievement effect increases by 200%. Effect. Dexterity +30. Overall reputation on the continent +40. Yeehaw stopped and started thinking. +15 agility and +20 reputation. Yes, and increased the effect twice. What's more, with a Hall of Fame induction, now it is clear why the award was hidden. Otherwise, everyone would have swooped in. There was no chapel to his joy. The headmaster was already standing on the school's porch, shouting, "Why are you standing there like a pillar? Come quickly, I say." The musketeer, roused from his deep reverie, ran as fast as he could to the school porch, shouting, "Yes, I'm already running." They went into the room and sat down at the table. The director took out a drink, poured it into glasses and offered it to the guy. Satisfied? The director asked. "Yes, very, very much." Yeehaw shouted. "You have the talent. That's why I behaved so boldly," the director said mockingly. "It was all pure luck." The guy was shy and scratched his head. "Luck doesn't follow the untalented. For luck to be on your side, you need to have good composure," the director said in a serious voice while sipping his drink. The musketeer thought about it, sipping what was in his mug. In the achievement, it was written in black and white that he is one of the three most famous musketeers in the history of the Kingdom of Pubiel. Moreover, he is one of the founders of this academy. His skills are definitely top-notch. The headmaster, sipping the contents of the mug, continued to say, "By maintaining your composure, your thinking will become more flexible, and then your dexterity will increase." "Kid," he shouted to the boy, who was lost in thought and wasn't listening. "I see you're not doing anything with your finger." "Haha. Well, something like that." The guy scratched his head again. "If you had come even a year earlier, I could have trained you as one of the next three musketeers of the new generation," the director said. "A bit of a pity, of course." "The Three Musketeers," said the guy. "You're still a long way from becoming one of them," the headmaster said. "Yes, I understand," the guy said sadly. The director went on to say, "I think with your level, I don't need to tell you how much gunpowder you need to put in the barrel and how many times you need to use the ramrod. Open it." The director tossed a heavy blue bag on the table. This Yeehaw started to open the bag. Bullets with gunpowder worth 10 silver. So much. Surprise guy didn't have a chapel. System notifications. Received 200 rounds of black powder. System notification. Received 200 iron bullets. The director kept saying, "I didn't tell you before. There is no point in basic training. I was lucky. That is, he gave me a reward for completing the basic training quest at once." Musketeer thought, but said something else aloud. "Thank you, Mr. Director." The director adjusted the brim of his hat and continued to speak. "There's still a lot of work ahead of you. It's the least I can do right now." "Well, then," the director smiled slyly, "shall we start hunting spiders?" The guy staggered in surprise. "Just a quest." System notification. Forest devoid of light 1. There's a forest west of Elstock where the light doesn't reach. Let's destroy the spiders on the trees that prevent light from entering. Target, red spiders. Reward, +10% to the level of proximity with Bezbrov. +10% to the feat level for the Kingdom of Pubiel. 30 copper coins. Immediately quest. Yeehaw thought, "I thought there would be some low-key welcome ceremony first, since this is an academy after all." And then immediately rushed. "Well, I like that, so quickly give quests." However, red spiders can already be killed at level 15. I have the 25th, which means that the reward will be less, therefore efficiency will drop, and besides, it's a pity to waste time on this. Musketeer rose from the table, thinking all this over. "Mr. Director, there are also bats in that forest, right?" Yeehaw asked. System notification. Activation of the auction. The probability of convincing the other person is 23%. "So what?" the director replied. "Then how about killing spiders and bats at the same time?" Musketeer suggested. "Are you getting conceited because I showed you a little leniency?" The director muttered angrily. "That's not so. I'm not young enough to pass off conceit as confidence. However, if you order me to, I can complete the task in one day." Yeehaw quickly rattled off. "All right," the headmaster shouted as he left the school building. Musketeer thought, the skill works. I couldn't miss this opportunity. But, I'd like to ask you something, the boy shouted out loud. About what? The director asked on the way out, turning around. If I can do it, teach me your skills. Having said that, the guy slyly narrowed his eyes, thinking to myself, wait for him to answer. Whoever speaks first loses. The director poured a drink into a mug and said, I'll agree if you do this. System notification. The quest content has been changed. Quest conditions have been changed. System notifications. A forest devoid of light. Let's destroy the spiders on the trees that prevent the penetration of light and bats, which thanks to the spiders have become active at night and during the day. I think he's an interesting guy. Can she really handle him, too? With this cooldown rate, he would be running out of time. I can check again. Is he fit to be one of the new generation of 3 musketeers? Goal: red spider paws. Wanna sucking bat teeth. Reward: plus 30% to the level of proximity with beardless. 1 silver coin. Plus 20 to feet level for the kingdom of Pibule. Skill: the technique of sharpened hand movement. Failure conditions. The quest was not completed in 12 hours. In case of failure, minus 50% of the level of proximity with Bezbrov. Minus 20 of the total reputation on the continent. Fragments of the same phrases stuck in Iha's head, reducing the overall reputation on content. Reducing the proximity level. 30 smaller feet. The quest was not completed in 12 hours. 30 bat teeth. Hell, he won't even give me a day. The guy muttered softly to himself. Listen, Mr. Director, Musketeer said, scratching his head. What? Can't you? The director replied. LLWay right now. Imitating the joy in his voice, the guy said. I thought to myself, high risk, high income. Interesting guy, the director said softly as he left. It takes 2 or 3 hours to reach the hunting ground. If the round trip takes about 6 hours, the hunt itself will only take half the total time. In addition, I need to not only kill 30 creatures, but also collect an item from each of them. Even though the probability of dropping items is high, I need to fill up 30 spiders and 30 bats. I can't believe he's pinning his hopes on me as one of the new generation of 3 musketeers. This cannot but motivate. First, let's run to the west gate. Rushing like a bullet through the city thought and ha. I don't even have time to assemble a team. Seeing aside people who offered to join game teams. One girl shouted at the top of her voice, I'm looking for a team to farm bats and spiders. The guy next to her was shouting over her, I'm going to Shebel Tiger, an experienced tanker. Please take me with you. Or at least there is someone who will go with me to Pachela village. While Iha was running, he could hear voices, tops that were shouting, I'm looking for a DD and a 2-person team to capture the Troll Peak lookout. Level 130 and above. The musketeer recalled that somewhere he had already heard this name. Lookout Peak. Note, before that, there was Kamskaban. Coming closer to the voices, the musketeer saw a crowd of people who were shouting in the confusion, is anyone heading to the Orc village? I'm heading for the Sentinel mountain range. Depending on the situation, we can go as far as Lookout Peak. And Ha, remembering once more, thought, Lookout Peak, I've definitely heard that word somewhere. After pondering everything once more, the guy suddenly remembered the place of his friend's position, Lookout Peak. Precisely, the Ram sisters. These 2 are in Peak Lookout. And where is this Lookout Peak located? It looks like it's somewhere outside the Sentinel mountain range. Wow, the Sentinel mountain range is also the end of the western part. A map was being drawn in the guy's head. It would be far from here. It will be very difficult for Ram HWA Young to go there alone. We have almost the same level, so her high-powered sister, Ram HWA Jung, helps her out. A little envious, okay? I'll sigh with despondency guy. I just need to catch up with them in terms of level. Please wait. I'll catch up with you soon. The guy cheered himself up. Panting from running, the guy thought, I only spent 45 equals minutes. Runner skill is the best. Let's assume that the journey back will also take 45 minutes. Then I can hunt for 12 hours. As he approached the forest, he heard men's and women's voices. What is this? And, in the clearing by the fire, the players were standing and arguing loudly about something. I can't take aim. I've had enough. A voice came from one side. Gentlemen magicians, only attack when monsters are nearby. Someone in the crowd shouted. First, the ranged attack team will try to deal with as many creatures as possible. Carrying a voice, I won't be able to cast a spell if the monsters are nearby. How many people thought Iha looking at the players? The players were sometimes grouped in groups, sometimes standing in 2s and 3s, and everyone was talking as if in unison with each other. Archers also have a hard time. Spiders are very sensitive. As soon as you point an arrow at them, they immediately hide. A boy with short hair said, "Ah, how infuriating. I came here after I died fighting a bear. but hunting here is no easier. The red-haired guy said, it will be even more difficult since night has fallen. It's a bit easier during the day, as the spiders are slower at this time. Can we start hunting in the morning? The guy with ear-length hair asked, and Ha thought, and there are also monsters that gather in heaps here. The troubles of solo players. I can't believe that bats and spiders are grouped together. The musketeer expressed his point of view. Ha walked away from the guys he was talking to, but I also heard them discussing their plans while arguing with each other. Their dialogue was as follows, good. Then we'll start in the morning, said one of them. The second man agreed with him. Besides, the bats would probably go to sleep with the dawn. I just managed to say to the fourth, standing there and not knowing what to say. Two guys saw where Yeehaw was going and started shouting after him. Hey, are you going hunting? Dangerous at night. Come with us in the morning. The musketeer, without turning around, said in an anxious and sad voice, then it will be too late for me. Yeehaw continued down the path into the dark forests. The guys, from surprise and not understanding, began to whisper to each other, did he really go alone? I'll bet you 1 silver coin that he'll come running back before sunrise. The guys started betting on comebacks and Ha. Okay, I'll bet you 1 silver coin that it's 2 hours from now. I placed the second bet, and I bet 1 silver coin on the fact that, in an hour, a new bet was placed by a player who came up from the side. 2 silver coins for his death, someone shouted from the crowd, which began to gather behind these guys. And in the morning we will surely find his body. It is no longer clear who shouted out from the crowd. The musketeer stopped and closed his eyes for a moment. After taking a deep breath and exhaling, he said in a calm, quiet voice, let's check it out. The voices of the players did not stop, continuing to place bets on and Ha. After death, the body will disappear. There are voices. Ha stopped for a second and shouted angrily without turning around to face the crowd. I can actually hear everything. Are they betting on another person's life? Musketeer thought resentfully. You assholes, ran the thought in the guy's head. Anyway, I don't give a damn, he said to himself. I can't back down. Confident in his victory, he said aloud to himself. Chapter 26. It was the dead of night. It was scary in the forest and not a single thing was visible. The tall trees did not allow enough moonlight to penetrate the thickets of the forests. I loaded my weapon, hit the ground with the musket and Ha. It took 63 seconds to recharge with my eyes closed. I'll be able to do it in a minute soon. Since it took me 63 seconds to recharge with my eyes closed, if there is light, I will be able to reduce the cooldown time to at least 50 seconds. Pulled out and Ha not lit a torch. As soon as the torch lit up and lit up everything around, Ha saw huge spiders approaching him and fired. He hit one of them and killed it, and the other rolled over on his back out of fear, and could not get back on his paws. Reload, recharge, tried to take the chance and Ha. The spider was already on its feet and was quickly gaining on Ha. However, the musketeer managed to shoot and hit. 52 seconds. In fact, it became faster. You can immediately see the effect of increased dexterity. He shot another spider. Because of the increased synchronization, everything looks much more realistic. I even feel a little sorry for him. Ha thought and opened the character window. Agility 215 points. Almost like a 50-level game. I know that every 50 and 100 levels, the power of perception increases. And now I understand the difference. Ha thought.